Agent Fossis. The world needs movies, but they don't know what movies are coming out. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to tell the audience the 5 movies you are most excited about coming out this next month. Do you accept?
I accept. Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to the Midnight Matinee Project. My name is Hunter, and I will be your host today, joined by 3-year Regal Unlimited member, Isaac Fossis.
And it will never end. I'm Regal Unlimited for unlimited years.
It will never end. I am also Regal Unlimited member. It might end. I might switch to AMC.
Those are dangerous words to be speaking.
I am in, if you're listening in, we've been Regal Unlimited members together for the last 3 years. We were roommates. We lived walking distance from a Regal theater.
We did.
We are no longer roommates. We are no longer walking distance.
Yeah.
You are. I am not a comfortable walking distance to the Regal theater. An old friend once told me, anywhere's walking distance if you're willing.
Yep. Just more of a matter of determination.
And I'm not willing. I'll drive. But I'm currently in the process of considering switching to be an AMC A-lister. So if you're listening, send us an email of what you think is better, AMC A-list or Regal Unlimited.
Regal. And
your answers might sway me. I'm pretty easily swayed.
That's fair. Honestly, when it comes to movie theaters, it's a win-win.
Well, hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Midnight Matinee Project. Whether this is your first time or it's your third time, because we only have 3 episodes, we're so glad that you're here and you're taking time to listen to us talk about the movies that are coming out this next month. So, quick agenda on this podcast. So, Isaac and I will be doing a quick recap on the past month, the month of May 2025. We'll look at our drafts. We'll talk about our own movie experiences, seeing some of these movies. We may even redraft that order based off our experience. But we'll see also who had the better draft based off of a wide variety of reviews on each of these movies. And then after that, we'll jump into our June release draft. Isaac will have the first pick this month. We'll each pick 5 movies that we're most excited about, and we'll give you our pitch as to why you should leave the house and go see these movies in theaters in the month of June. At the very end of this podcast, we'll do a quick little segment called "What Are You Listening To?" Where we're each going to share a different podcast that we're listening to, where we're really inspired by their knowledge and their love for movies and for storytelling that we want to share and recommend to you as well. But before we even jump into all of that, Isaac, obviously this podcast, we want people to go back to the movies. We love going to the movies.
Yes.
Do you have any specific movie traditions that, like, when you go to the movie theater, this is like, hey, I'm going to do this every single time to really like elevate your movie-going experience?
Yes, I do. Really, the only way that you could have gotten an honest answer out of me is by not prepping me for that question, which you did not. So you will get an honest answer from me. One thing I do without fail every single time, I've been told by every person that's ever found out that it's weird.
And this is why I asked you this question. I want you to say it on this podcast.
That it's gross. I'm okay with it. I don't think it affects anyone else.
What do you do?
I, every single time, without fail, will take off my shoes and watch a movie in movie theaters without shoes on. I will either wear shoes with socks and take off my shoes and usually put my socks on my shoes and chill, or like hike up my feet on the chair.
When you say put your socks on your shoes, are your feet still in them?
No. So like on top of them.
No, but are your feet still in the socks?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm not taking off my socks and laying them on top of my shoes. Socks on feet and then on top of shoes.
Okay, yeah. It's not much better, but it's a little bit better.
And then I am a huge flip-flop guy.
Yeah, you are.
Huge flip-flop. I constantly love to feel like I'm at the ocean.
Yeah.
And flip-flops make me feel like I'm at the ocean. So I will wear them all the time. And I will wear them to the movies, and again, we'll take them off during the movie. As soon as it starts, as soon as those lights go down, shoes come off, flip-flops come off. It happens every time. I don't have a food tradition. I don't have a drink tradition. I have started to take advantage of the Regal bar.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They got some fun movie-related cocktails. That's really it. Do you have any movie traditions?
Yeah, it's plugging my nose when I'm sitting next to you, so I don't smell your feet.
Honestly, before I told people, nobody has ever said anything to me before. And
I was too nice. I'd noticed from the very beginning. This is one of your worst qualities.
Thank you.
Like by far.
I love it about me. I love it about
I know
me.
your wife agrees with me.
Absolutely. She hates it. Yep.
I will say, and I shared this with Annie, and this may get some disagreement. I think it is better if you're in flip flops. If your feet are out, because your feet are basically already out when you're wearing flip flops.
100%.
So I think that is better than you wearing tennis shoes and taking them off in the theater. I think that's psychotic.
I think it just raises the bar to a whole new level, and you need to try it.
Don't. Please let us know also if you're disgusted by this or if you're inspired by Isaac's tradition.
Life short. Let's get weird with it.
Let us know. Again, email us at it's the midnight matinee project @gmail.com. Send us an email. I don't have many like traditions when it comes to going to the movies. Besides sneaking in some sort of candy. Probably like a Sour Patch Kid, or even like an M&M, like a peanut butter M&M. But I will say, in terms of also the physical experience of being comfortable, I am almost always like leg up in my chair. So whether it's like this leg, I'll switch legs sometimes, but I go leg up in the chair often.
Question back to you.
Yeah.
What is the largest item you've ever snuck into a movie theater?
So I mentored a bunch of high school kids for a couple years. I lived in Oklahoma, and we would sometimes go to the movies. And I remember we went. I don't even remember what movie we saw. We went to the movies. I had a group of them, and I'll say they snuck this in, but I think it's my favorite thing. But we went to Cane's before. Yeah. And they apparently you can order a tray of the Texas toast. And
did not know that.
And they brought in multiple, just stuffed under their shirts, trays of Texas toast.
So good.
And that was very, very fun. I mean, I've brought in a lot of Taco Bell into theaters. I'd love to get a full to-go meal.
Yeah.
But it depends on the theater.
It does.
Of whether or not like they look the other way.
Yeah, that's fair.
But let us know if you've got movie traditions. Let us know if they're weird enough or interesting enough. We'll probably talk about them on the next pod.
I probably will try them out.
Yeah,
because I'm always looking to ways to enhance my own movie experience.
We'll try them out.
So I'm looking for some inspiration.
So you may not want to go to the movies with us, but I hope you go to the movies in general. This next month, man. What great info.
Yes, yeah, just getting to know us bit by bit.
Isaac, we had a great month of movies.
We did.
The month of May absolutely rocked.
It did indeed.
But it's time to find out who had the better pulse on what movies would do better in the month of May.
Two thoughts on that. It makes me nervous because I don't control this part of the function of the podcast. You do.
Yeah.
So I genuinely have no way. Well, I do have a way of checking, but I don't check.
Right.
So I'm just fully trusting you to be ethical in this situation.
Yeah.
And,
so
I do trust you, but it makes me nervous because I genuinely don't know who won right now.
Yeah. Now, before I release the scores of the last month of our drafts, I want to recap real quick what we actually drafted, and even Isaac, as you recap what you drafted, would you change the order? Like, if you were to redraft, would you change the order of the movies that you drafted this past month?
Yeah. Great question. As always, yes, I would change the order. Friendship stays solid at 1.
Yeah.
Solid at 1. Then,
fantastic.
Yeah. Then Mission Impossible staying solid at number 2.
Yep.
So we're not moving the top 2, but 3 is where we get interesting. I'm actually moving up my 5th round pick to my 3rd round slot.
Okay. Final Destination.
Final Destination's moving up. I had never seen a Final Destination movie before seeing Final Destination Bloodlines. It is so much funnier than I thought it would be.
They're hysterical.
It's horrifying and gross, but it's also really funny.
Yeah.
It was just like a really fun time. People freaking out of the movie theater, also laugh in the movie theater, and you rarely get both of those. So it was really fun. That would be my 3rd pick. Then I would probably keep it the same of Words of War and Fight or Flight.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. I love that. Honestly, great picks all around. I know I saw two of those. I saw Friendship and Mission
Yeah.
Impossible, and loved them both. Love Tom Cruise.
You're a freaking prince.
Yeah, you're a freaking prince. You're cool. You have a good job.
So
Go see Friendship if it's still in theaters. If you haven't seen it
you
yet.
need to.
My picks. I think I would also keep in the same order. So out of my picks, there's only one I didn't see, The Phoenician Scheme.
Yep.
Just even as we're recording this, it's a limited release today.
Yep.
In just New York and LA. So I haven't seen it yet, but plan to see it pretty soon. But I think I would keep the same order. Number one, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay.
Saw it in theaters.
Rocks.
There were like 10 other people in the theater. Amazing.
Yep.
And the whole movie is great. The opening credits and the end of the movie, in my opinion, might be the best part in a theater.
Okay.
Fantastic experience. Number two, Thunderbolts
Yep.
was so fun.
Yep.
Got a lot of love from people. Such
Absolutely.
I think, a fun movie. Great job, Marvel.
Great job, Marvel.
And then three, The Surfer.
Yes.
I'd probably keep right at three.
Yep. Fair.
Just
It's great.
Nicolas Cage is just crazy.
He is insane. He knows how to commit, and my heart was beating very hard the entire time.
It's stressful.
For multiple reasons.
Stressful movie.
Yeah.
But so fun to watch. Beautifully shot.
Yes.
And then four, I would keep Lilo and Stitch.
Yep. That's fair.
Fun. Not quite the same as the original.
Yep.
Which I knew it wasn't going to be, but still really fun movie. Had a great time. And then five, I'll keep The Phoenician Scheme just because I haven't yet seen it. And so if you're listening, those were the recaps of our drafts from this past month, how we'd maybe reorder them. But what we do each month is we actually take an aggregate score of each of our five movies and a ton of different review sites. So from like Rotten Tomatoes, getting critics and audience reviews, Letterboxd, IMDb, Metacritic. We aggregate all these scores really into one total score for each of our drafts.
Yeah.
And so, Isaac, are you ready to hear the scores? Because it's been tight the whole month.
It's been tight, really tight the whole month. I've been getting periodic updates from you. And I don't feel good, but I'm hopeful.
So these are on a 100-point scale.
Yep.
So Isaac, your five movies comes out with a score of 73.16.
I don't think that's good enough.
In my five movies, again, scale of 100.
I'm betting in the 73s. What am I, 73.16?
You're 73.16.
Okay.
My five movies, 75 out of 2.
Okay, so it wasn't even that close at the end. Okay.
No, it separated a little bit. Some of your movies dropped a little
Yeah.
bit in the last few days.
Yeah.
But I get the win for the month of May.
Yeah, you know what? Well earned.
And it is 1-1.
Yeah,
we each have
it
a
is.
win.
Going into the summer blockbusters.
Yeah, you win the month of April. I win the month of May. And I look forward to winning the month of June.
Which makes this month all that more important. We're all tied up. This is a rubber match.
All tied up. And ultimately, the reason we're even having this competition is really just to see who is more trustworthy when it comes to choosing movies that you should go see this next month.
Absolutely.
And right now, it's even.
It's
in
even.
the 2 months.
It's even. It won't be even for long. I'll take the lead commandingly.
I've got some good picks this coming month, and I'm excited to make them. Isaac, are you ready for our June 2025 draft?
I am fully ready.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
You have the first pick. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let the summer blockbuster begin.
Okay, you're on the clock. Let's hear it.
We've been waiting a long time for this month. I've been waiting since December when this specific trailer released. I think that should be a big hint to you, at least, of what movie this is going to be.
I know exactly what you're taking.
But I'm going to start with a little bit of trivia so our audience can try to guess what my movie is going to be first.
Great.
This movie is responsible for a very unique relationship in Hollywood involving Christopher Nolan and Cillian Murphy. This launched their relationship.
Huh.
And it is, of course, 28 years later.
Yeah.
28 days later is the movie that launched their relationship. Christopher Nolan saw the movie, immediately reached out to Cillian Murphy, and that got him an audition for Batman in Batman Begins.
Right.
And then he eventually got cast as Scarecrow.
Yes.
And he killed it in all three Dark Knight trilogy movies, and it was incredible.
Can you imagine him as Batman?
It would have been awesome. I would love a Cillian Murphy.
Christian Bale's great. I love Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah. They made probably the right decision, especially for the story that they were going to tell.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a young Cillian Murphy play Batman.
Yeah. So Cillian Murphy in 28 Days Later.
Yes. And now we are finally getting to the much anticipated sequel, direct sequel, 28 years later.
Yeah.
So very excited for this. It has
Was there
one
not
of
a
the-
28 months?
There was a 28 weeks later. As you'll see in my pitch, not connecting it. A lot of fans do not connect it to the franchise, and it is more. It's not canon. We don't consider it.
Could there be a prequel 28 hours later?
28 days before.
Before.
Yeah,
Could
just
be.
show life that is normal in London.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that do not know, 28 Days Later is a 2002 cult classic of horror. It redefined horror, specifically zombie horror, at the time, and reinvigorated the need and want for in Hollywood to invest in zombie horror movies and relaunched the whole zombie craze.
Yeah.
And this movie, a lot of times zombies are slow walking, especially in movies before 28 Days Later.
Mm-hmm.
This launched the fast zombie genre, which is a very fun genre because it's way scarier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The 2000s did have a big zombie boom.
It did, and it was considered at the time of 28 Days Later a dead genre.
Yeah.
And 28 Days Later revived it.
Yeah, I mean, you got Zombieland, I Am Legend.
Yep.
What is it? World War Z.
World War Z, Brad Pitt. Yep. We have a lot of zombie, even television shows, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Last of Us.
Yep.
A lot of different zombie genre influenced by 28 Days Later.
Okay.
So 28 years later,
Yep.
here we are, 23 years after 28 Days Later. A lot of 20
we
numbers.
are 23 years later. The movie is
It's 28 years later.
Okay, got it.
Try to keep up.
Okay,
It's confusing.
cool. Got it.
I'll get lost a few times.
Should they have waited 5 more years?
I honestly wish they did. As a fan, I'm happy they didn't, but it would have been really funny if 28 years later, they released 28 years later. It would have been really good.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, I'm going to stop with my bits. You keep going. Give us the pitch.
Please interrupt
Give
me.
us the pitch.
I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible.
I hate horror, so I'm just trying to not hear about this movie.
Yes, that's fair. I'm trying to force Hunter to come see this with me. This is my most anticipated movie of the year.
Whew, wow.
And we're only in June.
Yeah.
This is Letterboxd most anticipated movie of the year as well. So it's not just me that's really excited about it.
I believe IMDb as well.
IMDb. So like this is millions of people across the globe have been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
28 million.
28 million have been waiting for 28 years. Wow. And here we are. This movie comes out on June 20th.
Okay.
Produced by Sony. There was a big bidding war, and this will come into account in some information later. But the tagline for this movie, as you might imagine, has 28 in it a lot. In 28 days it began, in 28 weeks it spread, in 28 years it evolved. So you might ask yourself, a 2002 zombie pandemic. Really, it's not really zombies. It's called the infected of the rage virus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not dead.
They're not dead. They are pretty much in 28 days later. This is not a spoiler. A group of activists break into an animal lab in Cambridge to free chimpanzees. Little do they know that the chimpanzees are infected with a unknown virus called the rage virus, where it turns anyone who gets infected into a homicidal maniac.
Whoa.
And they free them, they get infected, and then they infect the entire world. It is set in the UK. And the synopsis for this one is it's been almost 3 decades since the rage virus escaped a biological weapons laboratory, and now still in a ruthlessly enforced quarantine, some have found ways to exist amidst the infected. One such group of survivors lives on a small island connected to the mainland by a single, heavily defended causeway. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the dark heart of the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but the other survivors as well. You might ask yourself, Self. This is a movie about a pandemic spread in 2002. We just went through a pandemic spreading in the real world. Is there influence? And yes, there is.
Okay.
So Alex Garland is the writer of the original 28 Days Later. He has returned, and for the past 23 years, producers, directors have been trying to get him to come up with another story for 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
And he told them, until he thinks of something that's worth writing, I'm not going to pitch. And after COVID, he was inspired and finally came up with something that he thought was worthwhile. So it is heavily tied to that feeling of isolation and loneliness.
Yeah.
So this will feel very resonant to everybody that lived through the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, it's crazy he had the time because he's been working on a lot of other stuff.
He's a lot of other stuff. At the time of 28 Days Later, he was just a writer. Now he's become a director of films like Civil War that came out last year and was fantastic.
Yeah,
He
Warfare.
just came out with Warfare, which is also a great war movie. And he's been very busy and has really evolved as a writer into a director.
Yeah.
But the fun part about this is the original trilogy of director, writer, and cinematographer are returning for this.
Oh, great.
So it is the original team, and Cillian Murphy is returning, not as an actor, as an executive producer.
Love it.
Cillian Murphy considers this movie his favorite role he's ever had.
Wow.
This is also the only movie that he's ever watched of himself in.
Whoa, interesting.
So he doesn't like watching himself in movies.
Yeah.
This is the only movie. It was his breakout role. It is the only movie he has watched himself in. It's his favorite role he's ever done. And he's shown the movie to his kids.
Okay, whoa.
So he loves this movie.
Yeah.
He wanted to be attached to it if it came back. And obviously they got the gang back together.
Yeah.
So directed by Danny Boyle.
Okay.
Obviously, he directed 28 Days Later, returning with cinematographer Anthony Dodd Mantle and writer Alex Garland. So the team's back together.
Yep.
He also directed Slumdog Millionaire, won an
Ooh.
Oscar for Slumdog Millionaire. So Oscar-winning director. Studios love that.
Yep.
They'll back anything. He also directed 127 Hours, which is nominated for 2 Oscars, so another highly successful movie. He also directed the Yesterday movie, so the movie where the man learns that the Beatles and like a lot of music and culture does not exist in his reality, so then he just starts rewriting their songs for a world. Very fun. And then he also directed things like Sunshine, where Cillian Murphy came back with him again. Steve Jobs, the biopic of Steve Jobs. And Trainspotting, which is one of his most critically acclaimed movies outside of his Oscar nominated. And it came well before, I think that might have been his debut.
Okay.
So he has a very long history and has a lot of experience, obviously. And now we get into a very fun fact about Danny Boyle.
Great. What do we got?
The London Olympics, summer of 2012, he was chosen to be the artistic director for the Isles of Wonder, the opening ceremony.
Whoa.
So he directed the opening ceremony of the Olympics. It was chosen by his home country.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of the coolest honors you could have to be chosen by your home country to put on the world stage, put on something for everybody to see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was praised as
even if it is England.
Even if it is England. And I'll say, fair warning, the 28 Days Later franchise is all in England and in the UK.
Man.
So it is.
So there's one knock on the movie.
Yeah, and it's there.
I don't think we have any British listeners, so I think we're okay.
That's very true. We're going international, don't you worry. Now to get to the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Garland.
Alex Garland. Yeah,
so
what do we got?
Wrote 28 Days Later, wrote 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a quote on his process of writing this.
Yeah.
So, quote, he said, every 5 years or something, it would get discussed in reference to 28 years later or a sequel. And he had no motivation to do it. I said, look, if someone else wants to do it, that's fine, but I haven't got anything. He really was adamant that he does not want to add to the story to tear down the franchise and make it worse just to make something.
Yeah.
Him and Danny Boyle very intentionally care for this story and this now franchise.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, like
that doesn't always happen.
It rarely happens, which is why it adds to the excitement of this movie. I'm sorry, moving fast because I have so much more.
Great. Hey, bring it all on.
Honestly, could do an hour-long episode on 28 Years Later, and I'm not going to.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. He rooted the story that he ended up writing for 28 Years Later in imagining how a world would rebuild itself after an apocalypse, specifically focusing on what Britain would look like if an infection persisted for 28 years and the psychological toll of living in a long-term crisis.
Yeah. Whoa.
So a lot of it is how do humans react and adapt if you were put into survival mode for 28 years.
Yeah.
We did it for 2 years, 3 years.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. And Did not go well. People did not react well. We were not rational, which is fair.
But if you give us 28 years,
we'll totally figure it out.
We'll nail it.
Yeah, we'll kill it.
Everyone will get along great.
Yeah,
there'll
the world
be
will
no
be
arguments.
Absolutely not. So this story explores questions like, what does the infection look like after so long? How would survivors adapt? Has the country been abandoned or quarantined? What would the infected have become after nearly 3 decades? So really, it's the evolution of not only the infected, but also the survivors, and how do humans change when they have to live in just constant fear and survival mode for so long. So covering the creators of this great franchise, now we can move on specifically to the cast, and then why.
Wow, we haven't even touched the cast.
Yeah, why specifically you need to go see this movie.
Yeah, it's got a great cast.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this movie, so I am sacrificing time on other movies to go in depth on this one.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to go see it.
Great.
And there is one reason why I believe that.
Yeah.
And that'll get to as my last point.
Is it Aaron Taylor Johnson?
No, but he's incredible. Yes. Cast is Jodie Comer. She's recently in The Bike Riders with Austin Butler.
Yep.
Ralph Fiennes, recently cast as President Snow.
Yeah, one of the best.
He also was in Conclave, Schindler's List, and The Menu.
And he's Voldemort.
And he is Voldemort.
How dare you forget that?
I didn't forget it.
How dare you leave that out?
I did leave it out. I did leave it out. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
I love Ralph Fiennes. Aaron Taylor Johnson, as you mentioned.
Who you commonly mix up with Jared Leto.
I do, because I just really want to say it's Morbid Time.
Yeah, he plays a different, 2 different Marvel characters.
He does.
Kraven and Quicksilver.
Yeah. By Aaron Taylor Johnson, recently in an amazing horror movie, Nosferatu.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Robert Eggers. He also was in the Ryan Gosling starring The Fall Guy.
Yes, true.
He was really good there.
Yep.
I would probably say he shines the brightest for me in an ensemble cast or supporting role.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell. And then finally, my favorite, just with the recency bias, Jack O'Connell.
Yeah.
Who is the vampire.
Yes, Remick.
The Irish vampire, Remick, from Sinners. So he's busy.
I don't think I knew he was in this movie.
Yes, he is in this movie.
That's so exciting.
Yes, and he supposedly has a very big role in the second movie of the trilogy, because this movie and this franchise is starting a trilogy. This is the first movie. So we're going to get into...
Hold on.
Yeah.
How is this a trilogy?
So this is
do you not count the first
sequel.
2?
This is a sequel trilogy. So pretty much there's 28 days later.
Yeah.
Then this specific story of 28 years later is going to be a trilogy.
So the first movie is called 28 Years Later.
Yes.
Sorry, of the trilogy.
Yes. And then it'll be 28 years later.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes. Actually, Electric Boogaloo.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. Yes. Is that
the Last Brit?
Yes. The last Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
The Rise of Aaron Taylor Johnson.
The Rise
will
of
be the
Aaron
third
Taylor
one.
Johnson, of course. Yes.
Great. Cool. So they have 2 movies and then a trilogy.
1 movie and then a trilogy. 28 days later, then trilogy.
What happened to 28 weeks later?
We're not including that in canon.
But it does exist.
It does exist,
Okay.
but it is not considered widely not considered as attached to this universe.
Is the first movie a necessary view before watching this movie in theaters?
I honestly, since I haven't seen the movie, I don't know.
Oh, you haven't even seen 28 Days Later.
No, I have.
Oh, you haven't
Since
the
I haven't
new
seen
one.
the,
Okay,
yeah, since I haven't seen the
great.
new one. I would say everyone needs to see it because it
Yeah.
is a foundational part of the horror genre.
Yeah.
Especially the past 20 years.
Yeah.
If you like zombies, you need to see 28 Days Later.
Cool.
I'm assuming you don't need to have seen it, but you'll have added benefit if you do.
Great. Perfect.
Like
Amazing.
most movies
Yeah.
made today.
Yeah. Obviously, just with the time gap,
Yes.
there's not
Many.
really crossover.
Kelly Murphy is rumored to maybe appear, but it's highly unlikely.
But yeah, not a lot of character crossover.
It is very, very unlikely that he appears in the first movie. He might appear in the second or third movie of the trilogy.
Okay.
But he will not appear in the first movie.
Okay.
Is
cool.
what I've heard.
Cool. Good
Could
to
be
know.
wrong though,
Good
because
to
they're
know.
playing it close to the chest.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to fly through this.
Great. Yeah. What do you got?
So obviously this sparked Cillian Murphy's and Christopher Nolan's longtime working relationship
Yep.
that cultivated in an Oscar for both of them.
Oh yeah.
Their first Oscars
Oh yeah.
for each Best Director and Best Actor. It is Cillian Murphy's breakout role, and it's his personal favorite movie. We are going to ignore the 28 weeks later.
Right. Yeah.
We're just going 28 days later. To 28
Yeah.
years
That was a
later.
fan film, I heard.
Of course, yeah. A low budget film. It was not a cash grab at all.
It's just on YouTube.
Yeah, I would say almost none of the original creators were attached to the 28 weeks
Okay, that
later.
makes sense.
Where the entire original crew is attached to this movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm going off.
Yeah.
Getting to one of my favorite parts of how Hollywood and this team has launched this movie to the world. The trailer, as I mentioned earlier before, if you haven't seen it, please go see it. Even if you're not going to see the movie, go watch it.
It's a great trailer.
From just an artistic standpoint of how do you make a compelling trailer, it is the best I've seen in a long time.
Oh, 100%.
It gives nothing away about the story, but it makes you want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
It gives you the exact feel that the movie will have and builds anticipation like I've never seen before.
Yeah.
It features the famous poem Boots by Rudyard Kipling. It is recited by Taylor Holmes. And this story of Rudyard Kipling and Taylor Holmes is really fascinating in why they use the poem in the trailer. So the poem Boots is about British soldiers in the Second Boer War marching in Africa for days, weeks, and months on end, literally driving themselves insane, and boots, because they would just look at their boots as they're marching, and soldiers would be dying while marching. They would literally go insane while marching, and the poem captures that feeling of insanity, and it really is just a poem of a descent into madness.
Whoa.
And a never-ending march that you just can't escape.
Yeah.
So then in 1915, Taylor Holmes did a spoken word of the poem. And this is an incredible, just voice acting, no visual, just voice.
Yeah.
Incredible encapsulation of the heart of the poem. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The SEER Academy of the U.S. military, SEER, standing for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape, used this spoken word of the Boots poem by Taylor Holmes to simulate torture and psychological warfare to their own students.
Whoa.
So in preparation of sending soldiers out and the risk of capture, the risk of the effects of warfare that has on you, they just played on repeat Taylor Holmes's rendition of Boots for these soldiers so they could build a psychological tolerance to torture.
Wow.
That is how intense the poem is.
Yeah.
And it worked and was very effective for the U.S. military. So then you take that context and put it into a movie about surviving 28 years after a zombie apocalypse and the tension that it creates without revealing anything about the actual story, just puts you in the emotional state and well-being of every person in the movie immediately without even seeing a frame.
Yeah.
And it just is an incredible use of marketing and just emotional provocation.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorite trailers I've seen the past couple of years. And it is one of the reasons why I started such a deep dive into this movie to just make it become my most anticipated movie of the year.
That's crazy.
So wrapping it up, I do have one more pitch for you.
Yeah, come on.
It is it's a joke. Do you remember the cast? Ray Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Yeah.
and Jack O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
They previously played a Catholic priest, an Irish vampire, and Craven.
Uh-huh.
A Catholic priest, an Irish vampire, and Craven walk into a bar.
Oh my goodness.
One says, "I'm Oscar nominated." Another says, "I'm going to be Oscar winning." And the other says, the most impressive thing of all, "It's Craven time." It would have been so much better if it was It's Morbin time.
Oh man.
And I really wanted to do it, but I couldn't do it because I can't switch them up twice.
Your pitch had me riled up to go see this movie, and now I never want to hear about this movie again.
That's I like to play the emotional highs and lows.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's
yes. So the reason why everybody needs to go see this movie is because the first 2 movies have been shot. One's coming out in June. The next one's coming out in January.
Yeah.
The third one is yet to be shot or put into production because they're still going over financing. And the fate of the third movie solely depends on the success of the first 2.
Okay.
So if the first 2 do not do well
better
enough
go
in the
see
box
it.
office, yes. If they don't do well in the box office, there will not be a third movie.
Yeah.
So support the franchise, go see it, and we'll get more movies.
Which is a good note in general. If
Yeah.
we want studios to fund more movies, especially independent movies or new stories, or even just big movies that we get excited about, go watch it in theaters.
Absolutely.
It's a great way to convince studios to actually fund these movies.
Yeah.
Isaac, super in depth, super thorough.
There's a lot that I had to skip over. Maybe I'll get to it at some point. I'll save it for 28 years later, the Bone Temple.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, there we go.
The second.
No, Hunter.
The second was really the fourth of the trilogy. Yeah.
The second movie, the second movie in the trilogy, the third movie of the franchise.
But really the fourth if you count the second one.
No. We're not going to do that.
One eternity later.
So Hunter.
Yeah.
That took about a year. Now tell me your first pick.
That's a great first pick. There's a chance I see it. The trailer does look so good.
It's so good.
And I'm a sucker for a good trailer. June 20th.
June 20th. Go see it.
Yeah. It looks so good. All right. My first pick for the June 2025 release draft. I'm not going to keep you waiting. It's F1.
Yeah. Okay.
F1, the movie. If you're unfamiliar, F1 stands for Formula One.
It does.
Now, F1, if you don't know, Formula One racing is the top tier racing in the world. Above anything else, above NASCAR, above Talladega, which I love. We're in the South.
Yeah, of course.
But F1 is like the top tiers, the best racers in the world. Recently gained a ton of just growth and hype from the series Drive to Survive, where people got to really dive into the people involved in F1. But they're making a movie, and it's releasing this month, June 27th, so the end of this month. And I don't know if I can overstate how excited I am for this movie.
I feel like you're probably the same exact emotions that I have for 28 years later.
That's how I feel about F1. Yeah,
it is going to be so good.
As someone who's I would not call myself an expert or like a big fan of Formula One.
I've never watched a race, but I'm so excited.
Neither have I. Yeah. I would say I'm marginally familiar with some of the names, but I'm so excited. So let me tell you everything about this movie because it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So this movie is being released actually by Apple. Apple Movies. Warner Brothers has some ownership in some of the rights, but it was filmed for IMAX, which is so exciting. Not filmed on IMAX, but for IMAX.
Yeah, there's a difference.
So a little bit of a difference. Maybe at the end or maybe another podcast we'll talk about the difference between on and for IMAX. But go see it in IMAX.
Yes.
That I plan on seeing in IMAX. But this is directed by Joseph Kosinski. And if you're listening, you're like, who the heck is that?
Cue the Top Gun music.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He directed Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't remember, was the movie 3 years ago.
It was one of 2 movies, I would say, that brought us back to the movie theater after COVID.
Yes. The second one being Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, 100% agree. Top Gun Maverick, just phenomenal. One of the best sequels I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's hard to do a sequel well.
It is. Most often not done well.
Correct. But Joseph Kosinski is directing this movie, but he's not the only one from Top Gun Maverick involved in this movie. Most of the senior creative team of this movie worked on Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
So if you love Top Gun Maverick, which
you most likely do,
I believe is everyone who saw it.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this movie. So director Joseph Kosinski, the cinematographer Claudio Mirando. He of course was the cinematographer for Top Gun Maverick, which again, one of the things that made Top Gun Maverick so great was how real it felt. And a lot of that is due to the cinematography, how well they shot it, the angles, the different creative ways to be able to capture all of these different scenes. Claudio Mirando is the cinematographer here. He also did Life of Pi, Tron Legacy, great cinematographer. It's written by Aaron Kruger, who of course wrote Top Gun Maverick, and maybe one of the most exciting people involved in this, who scored Top Gun Maverick, good old Hans Zimmer,
yes,
who is
the GOAT.
He's probably number 2.
Who's ahead of him?
John Williams.
I just disagree, but that's fair. That's fair.
I think he is only beaten by John Williams.
Okay.
I think has him just because he's also been doing it longer.
That's fair. Okay.
But Hans Zimmer, of course, has so many things. Of course, he did Top Gun Maverick. He did The Lion King. He did Pirates of the Caribbean, which is one of my favorites.
The greatest score of all time, Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yep.
He actually did, I believe, 6 Christopher Nolan films, including the Dark Knight trilogy, Dune.
Yep.
He is just an incredibly talented composer, and so he has done the score for this movie as well. There's some other like popular musicians who've recorded songs for this. Super exciting. So a lot of that senior creative team that made Top Gun Maverick, they made this movie. And I feel like I could stop there and like that's enough.
It is enough.
Like go see this movie.
But don't stop there.
Good. I'm not going to stop there.
Okay, good.
So of course, this movie is starring Brad Pitt.
Yep.
I feel like I don't need to explain who Brad Pitt is.
Yep.
Honestly, one of the greatest actors, at least of the last 30 years. Brad Pitt plays this F1 racer named Sonny Hayes, who when he was younger suffered an injury and was unable to continue racing, and then now in his older days, we know Brad Pitt's a little bit older, not quite his Ocean's 11 age. Now he is coming back to F1 racing to mentor this younger driver played by Damson Idris. So Damson Idris was known really for a series called Snowfall, but he is really making this really big debut in this film in this role as these two drivers. This film also stars Javier Bardem, who is just so great. Yeah, Stilgar from Dune, of course, well known for his role in was it No Country for Old Men?
No Country for Old Men. One of the I think psychiatrists watched a multitude of serial killers in movies, and he was voted as the most accurate portrayal of a sociopath and a serial killer in any movie ever created.
And I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
He's so great. He's so talented in so many roles. He's in Pirates of the Caribbean 4, I think. Not 5. I think it's 4. I think it's 4. Nope.
No, he's in the last one.
It's 5.
Yeah, it's 5.
It is.
Yep.
It is 5. It also stars Carrie Condon, which Carrie Condon recently won a BAFTA for her role in Banshees of Inisherin. She was so great in that. But also, Carrie Condon is the voice of Friday, Tony Stark's AI. After Jarvis and after Vision was created in Ultron, his AI Friday in the next few films. Carrie Condon voices. That was just so fun. Carrie Condon is an Irish actress, and she has this wonderful Irish accent, which is in this film. And she doesn't have it as Friday. It's not really Irish. Love her Irish accent. I love Irish accents in general. They're so great. You're Irish, and and I would love if you would get an Irish accent instead of your like quasi Boston.
Yeah, of course.
Accent.
There's a little Yankee in there, but
right.
Yeah.
But like great like starring cast. But also this movie features many actual people involved in F1 racing. So a lot of the drivers, again, I'm not an expert, a lot of the drivers that you may know if you're a fan of F1, they're going to be in this movie. Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, they're in this movie. Lewis Hamilton actually has a producer credit on this film. He was a massive part of making sure that this film felt authentic to Formula One. Quick quote here from Joseph Kaczynski. In talking about this movie, he says, "You can talk about speed, but we wanted to make audiences feel it."
Yeah.
And I think thinking back to Top Gun Maverick, like every single flight scene felt real. It like felt like you were in that jet with Tom Cruise, with Maverick, with Rooster, with Bob.
Century?
Century. Good old Lewis Pullman. But it felt so real being in that movie and was so exciting, and just the suspense of all these things was just so great. And so this whole team, led by Joseph Kaczynski, I think is going to bring that same authenticity to the Formula One experience. They filmed this on real F1 courses. Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, they're driving.
Yep.
They're actually driving these cars.
In Top Gun Maverick, they made all the actors actually be in the planes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And experience the G-force.
Yeah. Now, the small difference is while they were in the planes, they weren't actually the pilots, which makes sense from a safety thing. Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, they're driving.
Yeah, that's
they're driving these F1 cars. They go so fast,
They do.
and honestly, they look like they're having a blast. I can't imagine trying to be serious and act while you're driving this. But it looks so good, so fun. Quick, honestly, not difficult to come up with, but movie comp. Between two movies that, hey, if you love these two movies, push them together. That's what this is.
Can I guess one?
Yeah.
Cars. by Pixar.
Yes.
Let's go.
It's Cars,
Yeah.
and of course, Top Gun Maverick.
Of course, yeah.
And if you love Cars, and specifically Cars 3
Cars 3, okay.
and Top Gun Maverick, this movie's for you. If you haven't seen Cars 3 has kind of a similar plot line of we actually have Lightning McQueen, who's a little bit older. There's all these younger drivers, and there's a little bit of mentorship, but also a little bit of like, hey, you're past your time. You're obsolete mixed in there. I actually cried during Cars 3 on a plane when I watched it for the first time.
Is so funny. That's so funny.
That's completely true. But Cars 3 and Top Gun Maverick, push them together. That's this movie. Now, this movie is being released by Apple. And so I'm sure however long this stays in theaters, afterwards you'll be able to watch it, of course, on streaming on Apple TV Plus. And you may be thinking to yourself, oh, I've got Apple TV Plus. I can wait a few weeks until it's on my screen, right? I've got Apple TV Plus. This is my TV. I can wait a few weeks. You may be thinking to yourself, yeah, I'll just wait. I'm not going to go pay to see it in theaters. I'll wait right here. Your TV is not big enough.
No.
I promise
also,
you.
Your sound is not good enough. Your seats are not going to be shaking while you're watching. Like, you will be.
Yeah, should we see this in 40X?
Yes. If you see this in a movie theater, you will be inside of an F1 race. If you see this at home, you'll be watching an actor's drive in an F1 movie.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. Experience this the right way while you can.
Yes, 100%. So, like, if that's you, you're wrong. And I hope I'm doing maybe a little bit of justice in convincing you. Go see this in theaters. And so June 27th, end of the month, F1, go see it. That's my first round pick.
Great pick.
Thank you.
That concludes the first round, and I feel like those were really the only two choices that we had.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I got my choice.
But hey, round two, I feel good about too.
Yeah. To kick off round two.
Yeah, what do you got?
We have a re-release, and fun fact, this is the third month we've done it. That was the first time ever that a re-release was not chosen in the first round.
Correct.
So good for us.
Yeah,
Go
new
movies. New movies. This is a re-release. And it's, of course, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the third movie in the Indiana Jones franchise.
Yep.
I think personally for me, some of my favorite memories as a kid was going to the drive-in theater with my friends' parents. They would take us, and we would watch the Indiana Jones movies at the drive-in.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Every little kid wants to be Indiana Jones.
Of course.
You want to go have your whip, have your hat, and go explore the world, finding these crazy artifacts and fight Nazis.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
what else-
It doesn't get any better.
What else could you want out of life? Kill some Nazis and go find some amazing artifacts.
Yeah. Or as Brad Pitt says, Nazis.
Nazis. He speaks the third most Italian. I don't speak any Italian.
Italian.
Italian. That's what I said. The third most Italian. This movie is being re-released in theaters on June 15th. Go see it because, like a lot of us, we have not seen this movie in a traditional movie theater.
Yeah.
Might have seen it as a drive-in. We might have seen it all on TVs. But movie theaters enhance every experience.
So great.
And this is going to be so fun. The team attached to this movie that brought this to life is incredible.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring in the
I mean,
composer?
one of the best composers of all time.
that
Came
we've
up
already
with,
talked about.
Yeah, he created the Indiana Jones theme, John Williams.
Yep.
Bum ba dum bum, bum ba dum, bum ba dum bum, bum ba da 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 da. Should I keep going? Or?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but get louder every time.
Okay,
Break the
great.
microphone, please.
I think I did justice to that.
Yeah, I think you did. Into the details, as I said, releasing June 15th. Lucasfilm Ltd. was a producing partner of this.
Yep.
Which obviously means the team is, of course, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas.
Yes.
And the creative minds that just built a lot of Hollywood as we know it on their backs. Most of the movies that you've seen from the 80s, 90s are off the backs of those two, or inspired by those two.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the greatest directors and creative minds in Hollywood ever. And I think the fun thing about Indiana Jones that most people know is Steven Spielberg wanted to make a James Bond movie. They'd not let him, and there he created Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The American version, because Britain sucks.
Oh yeah. and from Indiana Jones, which George Lucas was involved in.
Yeah.
Of course, he had Harrison Ford in Star Wars.
Yes.
He has Harrison Ford dressed kind of like Indiana Jones.
Yes, and Harrison Ford is, as we'll get to in a second, the real life Indiana Jones. He was the only option, and they almost didn't cast him.
Really?
Because they almost did. George Lucas did not want to cast him because he did not want two major franchises that he's created
Yeah.
to be attached to one person.
Yeah.
And also,
Or including American Graffiti.
exactly. And another thing is Harrison Ford didn't want to do this
Whoa.
because he didn't want to keep on doing roles that one would tie him to a franchise and like tie up most of his movie making time
Yeah.
in franchise and in the same character. And he didn't want to be attached to singular characters. He wanted to expand a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if that really worked out for him.
it didn't really work out for him. But you know what? He had a fantastic career, and we all are thankful for it.
Yeah.
So a lot of us has already seen this movie. The franchise is a third movie of the franchise. Go watch the first two to prepare. This is one of the most beloved movies of the franchise.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this movie specifically. But as I said earlier, Steven Spielberg, the director, he directed one of my childhood favorites, also E.T.
Yep.
He also directed Jaws and The Goonies,
Yep.
which are all-time classics. Then we have George Lucas, responsible for Star Wars and many other things.
American Graffiti. Yeah.
I already made fun of Star Wars in our first episode, so I won't do it again here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And then we're obviously starring Harrison Ford.
Yep.
He is Han Solo in Star Wars. I don't think I need to do a deep dive into him because everyone should know who Harrison Ford is.
Right.
He recently is a therapist in the Apple TV show Shrinking.
Yeah. He's
And
also
it's
the
incredible.
president
Of the United States.
Thaddeus Ross.
And
Red Hulk.
Yep.
In Captain America Brave New World.
But I think one of my favorite things about this movie specifically is the other actor with Harrison Ford in here, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
The first James Bond
yes.
in feature films, Sean Connery.
Yep.
He is one of the most iconic actors of the 20th century. He starred in 7 Bond films.
Yep.
He starred in The Hunt for Red October, The Untouchables, Murder on the Orient Express. Now, some fun facts about him. Of the 6 actors who have ever portrayed James Bond, he is the only one to, like Bond, have served in the Royal Navy.
Whoa.
So he has a lot in common with James Bond, which
Wow.
makes him a really fascinating
James Bond,
James
yeah.
Bond. And he, I feel like, is a very specific. Each James Bond has their strengths. He's a very specific James Bond
Yeah.
in his own right. He turned down. This is one of my favorite facts about Sean Connery, and I promise you're not seeing this. What is my favorite franchise of all time?
Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Did you know he was offered a role in Lord of the Rings?
Frodo. Samwise.
No.
Merry.
No.
Pippin.
No.
Sauron.
No. No.
Gollum.
No.
You want
No.
to keep going?
Yes.
Treebeard.
No. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
He would destroy Dumbledore in a fight.
There's nobody in Lord of the Rings that would destroy Dumbledore in a fight.
This is an argument that we've had many times before.
Oh, Sauron.
Yeah. Close. He would also
Radagast.
He might not be Dumbledore.
Are you impressed that I know Radagast?
I am very impressed that you know
Great,
Radagast.
thank you. I got that name off-
That's
off
really
the
good.
top.
That's really good.
He's the wizard he's the brown wizard.
Yeah.
That like has all the animals.
Yeah, there's like gray and white.
Yeah.
And then brown. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bilbo.
Nope.
Aragorn.
No. All these could be Dumbledore. in a
Boromir.
fight. I'm glad that you agree.
Are you impressed that I know this many names?
I am
in
very
Lord of the
impressed.
Rings?
Yeah, yeah.
Eowyn.
Yes. No man
Sean
can kill me.
Connery.
I am no man.
And which wouldn't have worked if it was played.
It would not have
by
worked.
Sean
Yeah.
Connery.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He was offered to play Gandalf.
He was offered to play Gandalf, and
Whoa.
he turned it down for a really funny reason. So, one, he didn't want to film in New Zealand for 18 months.
Awful excuse.
Awful excuse, but this is even better.
Yeah.
He mainly turned it down because he couldn't understand the story and the books. He turned it down because he's like, I don't get it.
That's so fair.
And it's so funny, but that not understanding, I want everybody to hear this. Sean Connery not understanding Lord of the Rings and the story of Lord of the Rings cost him, guess how much money?
Oh, I can't even imagine. Is it basically how much money like Ian McKellen made?
No, because he would have been offered a like part of the revenue and a higher salary.
More than Ian McKellen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was the first choice.
Yeah,
and he was a
yeah, and he
much
was the bigger deal
significantly
than Ian
bigger
McKellen.
name
Yeah.
at Ian McKellen at that time.
Does it have a B in it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not billions.
Not that quite. Okay.
No, yeah.
But
I
I
think
imagine
like as just an actor as part of a movie.
Yeah. I mean,
That's not even leading it. He's like a part of an ensemble.
I mean, is it triple digit
Yes.
millions? 250.
$450 million. An estimated $450 million because he didn't understand the story of Lord of the Rings.
That's got to be one of the biggest I'll say missed opportunities for Sean Connery. Obviously, the movies would have been different if it was him instead of Ian McKellen, which I think it worked out. Ian McKellen,
100%.
phenomenal Gandalf.
Yeah.
Who would lose in a fight to Dumbledore?
Absolutely
but that's got to be, one of the biggest misses.
100%.
If not the biggest of all. The biggest of all time actually is probably Matt Damon got offered Avatar with a percentage of the revenue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is a $1 billion movie.
Yes, it
which
is.
The third one's coming out later this year, and there'll be 5 total. And so I think Matt Damon might be the biggest miss financially.
I agree.
But
it's close.
That's
it's top
huge.
It's top 5 for sure.
That's huge.
Insane. So that's probably my favorite fact about Sean Connery. He's in this movie. He's fantastic. And then my last one that I have.
I forgot what movie we were talking about. Indiana Jones, right?
Indiana Jones. My last one I'll hit quickly. John Rhys Davies, who of course plays Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Is really just a lot of Lord of the Rings ties to this movie, and I just wanted to highlight it because it needs to be highlighted. And just this movie, going to be really nostalgic. It's going to be really fun to see, an all-time classic in theaters, and you need to go see it. Fantastic cast, a dream team of creatives behind the camera, and it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, come on. All right, I'm excited for it.
Let's go.
All right, we're jumping into round 2 for me.
Yeah,
my second pick.
What is Hunter's second pick?
Man, we're switching genres. We're going romance.
Yeah.
My second pick.
I know what this is gonna be.
Materialists.
Yeah, I was really hoping to get that in the third round. It was just the safety of Indiana Jones or Materialist.
Materialist comes out June 13th, being distributed by A24. This is, of course, directed, written, produced, all by Celine Song.
Yeah, I love
this is
Celine
her
Song.
second feature film. First one, of course, was Past Lives.
Yeah.
Phenomenal film.
What, like a easy, just letterbox 5-star movie. Like, it's so good. One of the best romance movies of the 2020s. Probably the best, in my opinion.
Maybe the best.
Of the 2020s.
You're forgetting Challengers.
How dare you? Challengers is great. It's nowhere close to Past Lives.
But Celine Song, so great. This movie is starring this will be a rom-com. But it's a love triangle rom-com. And it's so great. I can tell you who it's starring. Then I can talk a little bit about actually the cinematographer, which is a very important note. But then the general plot of this movie, which I think is fascinating. And even Celine Song's own connection to writing this story. So this is starring a trio of phenomenal actors. So first, of course, Dakota Johnson.
Yep.
Which Dakota Johnson, of course, most well known for Madam Web.
Yep. Of course, the critically acclaimed Madam Web.
But also, of course, the 50 Shades series, Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson is just so great. Ignore Madam Web. She is really a great actress.
I think my favorite Dakota Johnson is Dakota Johnson on the press tour for Madam Web.
Yeah.
She was not very happy.
I think my favorite Dakota Johnson is Dakota Johnson in a Please Don't Destroy sketch on SNL when she hosted. It is fantastic. So Dakota Johnson. Number 2, Chris Evans.
Yep.
If you're unfamiliar, that's Steve Rogers, Captain America. Also, the Human Torch, Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four. Red One, the Christmas movie that came out this past year. Fun. I don't think you saw it.
I didn't.
I saw it. pretty good.
Okay. I won't bash it then.
Knives Out.
Out, yep.
So many great things. Chris Evans. Great actor. So fun.
Yep.
And then, of course, Hollywood frontman right now, Pedro Pascal.
He's in every single movie that is being created right now.
He's in everything.
And I love it so much.
There's no complaints.
Yeah.
So Pedro Pascal, of course, known for so many things. Of course, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting his name, but Game of Thrones, Oberyn, yeah, Oberyn Martell. He of course will be in Fantastic Four coming out later in July.
He was in Freaky Tales.
Who's in Freaky Tales. He, of course, plays Din Djarin the Mandalorian in Star Wars. Plays Joel in The Last of Us. He was in Gladiator 2. He is just in everything.
Everything.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's so great.
I love Pedro Pascal.
And so this movie features those three, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, in this, I'll say, kind of love triangle-ish type scenario, which is just so fun. So, real quick note, also just on the actual creation of this movie, is the cinematographer. I'm probably gonna butcher his name, but it's Xavier Kirchner. He was the cinematographer on Past Lives with Celine Song as well. But this movie is shot fully on 35mm film.
Okay.
So not digital. It's on film.
Love that.
Which we were talking about. Film.
Always better.
Yeah, we were talking about film earlier. Film is just always better. It's can sometimes be harder to work with. Again, we're not movie makers. We're not experts at all. I dabble in like film photography, and the patience that is needed and the preparation that is needed to get it right is so admirable and so impressive. And so just shout out to again, pronouncing this wrong probably, but Xavier Kirchner, who filmed this movie. But Celine Song, of course, is leading this movie. So she wrote it, she produced it, she directed this movie. And the story, the plot line is Dakota Johnson plays this matchmaker. Matchmaker in New York City. She has 9 successful marriages to come out of matchmaking, which feels pretty good.
It's a lot.
I don't know how long she's been doing it, but 9, pretty good. She's trying to help people find love, find their match. And she ends up meeting this like unicorn billionaire that checks every single box, played of course by Pedro Pascal. So of course there is this draw towards his character because he's perfect. And it just hits every possible box you could ever want. But also she's got this history with Chris Evans, who is this blue collar like waiter / I think wannabe actor who still lives with roommates. And she has this history with him, and it's really this whole movie of this love triangle, and really Dakota Johnson's character trying to decide, like, hey, do I go with maybe this guy that I have a history with who does love me, and I do love, but he has all these issues and has all these problems and has all these probably red flags, or do I go with this billionaire who checks all the boxes, who's just like perfect, has his life together, is so attractive in just not just physically, but just every possible way. And this movie really, actually, Celine Song wrote this movie because she was a matchmaker.
Okay, did not know
that.
Fun
fact. Celine Song was a matchmaker about 10 years ago, and she realized that as she is trying to help people find love, which is an admirable, like people want to find love in life, she realized that many people that she was trying to help, when she would ask them, what are you looking for? Their answers often were just numbers. And we see that in the trailer. We see these clips of matchmaking kind of meetings with Dakota Johnson, all these different clients of people listing, of course, age, height, weight, income, like all these numbers. And like that's what people are like focused on. And so how do then you as a matchmaker really focus on trying to help people find like really good fits, but also like, man, your perfect match may not fit these check boxes and these numbers that maybe you're holding on to. And so Celine Song realized that as a matchmaker, and so then wrote this movie from that experience. And now we got Dakota Johnson, who is a matchmaker, who probably sees the same thing and now is having to have that her own decision to make. Of will she go with the numbers or will she go with maybe someone who really is her true love. And so this movie is about true love. I think my favorite part is Celine Song in Past Lives. She also pulled from her own
personal experience,
Yeah.
and it made the movie very, very grounded in reality, and like didn't allow it to inflate to these Hollywood expectations of stereotypical tropes in a love triangle.
Yeah.
Because it's another love triangle movie, and it is the best. Like, it is my favorite love triangle movie.
Yeah.
It just is very unexpected.
Not
very,
Challengers.
No, not Challengers. It is very unexpected. It is very grounded in real emotions
Yeah.
and not this melodramatic like story of three people that are just blowing up emotions that don't really exist in the real world.
Yeah.
And you know, as I say, they're not chasing waterfalls.
Right. Hey, to quote TLC.
Quote TLC. Creed.
Absolutely. So
Creed.
each of these three actors, in reviews I've seen so far, is really that these are some of the best performances, especially Dakota Johnson.
Okay.
So I'm so excited. Now, to kind of wrap up, a quick message to the guys listening. If you're a guy,
I'm excited. I'm a guy.
yeah, you may be thinking to yourself, I'm going to go see the F1 movie, but I'm not going to go see Materialists. Here's my message to you. Love isn't just for girls.
No, it's not.
Love is for guys. Romance is for guys.
We learned last month, friendship is not just for girls. It's for guys. This month, we're learning
Romance is not
Romance-
just for the girls. Romance is for guys. Now, I know I don't have to convince you. You're a well known as a lover of rom-coms.
I love rom-coms.
And
They're
rightfully so.
good.
Rom-coms are great.
Why would I deprive myself of an amazing genre?
Yeah, I believe your favorite is Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Right, yeah, number one.
It's so good. I mean, just anything with Ryan Gosling, I will watch.
Yeah,
But
he'd be great.
him and Emma Stone, there's just no better chemistry.
The chemistry
You
is
throw
phenomenal.
Steve Carell in there, I'm going to stop. Okay, continue.
Yeah, sorry, not to get on a Crazy
Yeah.
Stupid Love tangent. But if you're a guy listening to this, one, if you're in a relationship, great date night movie.
Yep.
If you're not in a relationship, man, go ask a girl on a date. Go see this
Yeah.
movie.
Or just go and see it by yourself.
Come on.
And pull
Go
inspiration
see-
from it.
Go see it with your dudes.
Let's
Go
go.
see it with your bros. Hey, do you want to go see this
We're
together?
going to go see it together.
Great, perfect. Annie can come too. Our third
Of course,
wheel.
yeah.
But love is not just for girls.
Yeah.
Romance is for guys too, and rom-coms are for guys.
Rom-coms
not
are for
just
guys.
for girls. So, Materialist, Celine Song, June 13th.
Yes.
8/24. That's my second round pick. Go see this movie.
Great second round pick. I'm really excited for that.
Thank you.
And I'm also really bummed I didn't get it.
Yep.
Really hoping that I don't get this feeling again later this draft.
You might. We'll see.
Um,
But we're on to round 3.
we are on to round 3. I'm really excited for this one.
I
It
feel
is-
alive right now.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
we're
about these
talking
movies.
June is going to be such a good month.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep it going with The Life of Chuck.
Oh, I wanted that movie.
Yes. The Life of Chuck.
Okay, let's hear all about it.
The first thing I'm going to say, because this should grab everyone's attention, this is based off of a Stephen King story.
There you go. That's
That's
it.
all you need to know.
There you go.
That
I'm in.
really should be the only reason
I'm sold.
that you need to go see a movie. If
And
you
not
hear
the
Stephen
only
King.
movie coming out this year based off of Stephen King.
It's not. Very
Which,
di-
yeah, a little teaser for later
Yeah,
this year.
later this year. Stay tuned.
October, November, maybe?
I
Is it
think so.
August?
I think it might be August.
Maybe August.
Very different vibe from
yeah,
this one.
little sneak peek teaser.
yeah,
but sorry,
it's
go
gonna be
on.
good. No,
Stephen King.
You're good. Stephen King, we
Life
love
of
him.
Chuck, yeah.
Life of Chuck, releasing June 6th, brought to you by Neon. Neon coming hot off of an Oscar win for Best Picture.
Yeah, with Honora.
Honora.
Yeah.
This movie is starring Tom Hiddleston. Again,
Gosh.
the only reason why you need to go see a movie, Tom Hiddleston's in it.
Yeah.
I have a very fun.
Now, yeah, if people don't know Tom Hiddleston.
Yes, Tom Hiddleston. He plays Loki in the MCU.
Oh, yeah, that's Thor's brother.
The worst. That was good.
I know that guy. Didn't he die at the first Thor movie and the second Thor movie
And also the
Infinity
third.
War?
Yeah, yeah, and every single one.
Yeah, and actually a bunch of times in the Loki
Yeah.
series.
And then he officially dies, but then a different one. Yeah. We'll get into it. Maybe
That guy, Tom
Maybe we'll do an
Hiddleston.
entire episode on Tom Hiddleston. I think we can do it.
Didn't he date Taylor Swift?
Stay tuned for the end of my pitch.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to ruin anything.
Taylor Swift fans, my wife Annie, don't listen to that part because you don't want to upset a Swiftie. Is all I'll say.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it. Go on. Sorry,
No, you're good.
Tom Hiddleston.
My favorite thing that he's done
Yeah.
is he fits this person so well. Have you ever seen the movie Midnight in Paris?
I've not.
Okay, so it's a movie where pretty much a character goes in and he finds a time pretty much a time portal back in time to the expatriate days of Paris, France.
Yeah.
Where all of the great writers like Ernest Hemingway were living in Paris, writing all their novels.
Yeah.
He plays F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Oh, no
who
way.
just fits his persona so well.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's so fun to see him play that role.
Yeah.
And I always forget that it's him, and I feel like everyone else does. So I wanted to remind everybody.
I'm probably going to watch that
He
movie
plays
this week.
F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I think
Sounds
that
great.
that role is more closely identifying to this Life of Chuck role than anything else he's ever done.
Yeah.
This is also starring, not on screen, but narrating, the man who narrated the Oscars this year, Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson, yes.
He also is in The Last of Us in one episode, maybe two, in season 1.
Yeah, I think just the third
one
episode.
episode, yeah.
Just one episode, yeah.
This is also starring Matthew Lillard, Stu from the original Scream, and Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. And then Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan.
Please, okay, I was.
Yeah,
I know I mispronounced
She's
a lot
great.
of names. Obviously, Nebula in All Things Guard of the Galaxy.
Yes.
She's Evie in The Big Short, and Ruby in Roundhouse in Jumanji.
Yes. She's
So
great.
3 roles that you might recognize her from. And then finally, the great Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Star Wars, baby. I knew you get excited about that
Luke
one.
Skywalker.
I did not know this about Mark Hamill. He voices the Joker in a lot of animated Batman movies.
Oh, yeah. He's a great voice actor.
Yes. And I'm honestly, I'd never heard them. I want to now hear them.
Oh, man, they're great.
But
Highly
this
recommend.
is co-written and directed by Mike Flanagan. He's best known for Dr. Sleep, and he is really known right now for horror.
Yeah.
Now, don't stop listening because you hear the word horror.
Okay.
Most great directors that you know of and actors, earmuffs, get their start in horror.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
To give you some examples, prolific directors that got their start in horror.
Oh.
Peter Jackson,
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, got his first probably 4 movies were horror movies. His first one was
And
Bad
3 of
Taste.
those were the trilogy of the Lord of the
Exactly.
Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the big spider scene.
Yeah, the Shelob. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Descendant of Ungoliant the Giant. Yeah. Sam Raimi,
Sam Raimi. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The Evil Dead.
Yes. Who, of course, if you're unfamiliar, directed the original Spider-Man
trilogy, which
did-
really launched the whole superhero craze that we have
Yeah,
now.
he also did Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Exactly. We don't talk about that here. I love Sam Raimi, so I will not disrespect him with a horrible movie. Everyone makes mistakes.
Everyone has those days.
Guillermo del Toro
Yeah. Uh-huh.
made Chronos and started with Chronos. Jordan Peele,
And
Get
Guillermo del Toro has Frankenstein coming out later this year.
It better be released in theaters.
Yeah.
I honestly
I
might boycott it if it's only on Netflix.
People are fighting right now to get it released in IMAX.
I did see that, and I have hope.
fingers
I have
crossed.
hope. Robert Eggers in The
Yep.
Witch. He's made a lot of horror, but he's made The Northman too, which is
Yeah.
more of an action
He
thriller.
just did Nosferatu.
He
is
just
that right?
made Nosferatu. He's done The Lighthouse. He's done The Witch,
Yeah.
Nosferatu,
Uh-huh.
and The Lighthouse are 4 current feature films right
Yeah.
now. Zack Snyder with Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
300, a lot of the DCEU
Yes.
with. He directed Superman, or Man of Steel.
Yes.
Then Batman vs Superman, Justice League.
Release the Snyder Cut.
Oh, they did, and I watched all 4 hours of it.
know,
It was
it's so
incredible.
long.
It was so long, and it was awesome. And then another one, Steven Spielberg. His second movie, his second movie ever was Jaws, or his second feature film, and really the one that he came onto the scene with.
Yeah.
Was Jaws.
Yeah.
Before Jaws, he was relatively unknown. So, do not knock horror. Amazing directors start in horror and then cross and make the jump into other more traditional genres.
Yeah.
And they can make the jump very, very seamlessly. And this is what will happen here. We're calling our shot.
Okay.
Life
great.
of Chuck is going to be great. So,
So Mike
Stephen King.
Flanagan, right?
Mike
Is that the
Flanagan.
name? Okay.
Yeah,
Mike
so
Flanagan.
he co-wrote it. And then Stephen King obviously helped with the story.
Yep.
So he is influenced in there. Stephen King. Again, he does a lot of horror, but what people also might forget is he also does a lot of really great stories. So he is also responsible for the story behind The Green Mile, The Shawshank Redemption,
Yeah.
and Stand By Me.
Yeah.
So 3 movies that are not horror, that are just unbelievable stories.
So good.
And Stephen King, he's just an unbelievable storyteller. And if he's attached to something creatively, you should go watch it.
Yeah. No, if you haven't seen The Green Mile,
Oh my gosh.
go see
It is.
First of
so
all,
good.
let's get it back in theaters.
Back in theaters.
But if it's not, I'll
Yeah.
allow it. Go watch it at home. The Green Mile,
It's so good.
phenomenal movie.
So it is based off of a novella from Stephen King's If It Bleeds collection of short stories.
Okay.
And then here's how I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back, the haiku.
Can't wait.
And you mentioned something earlier that is involved with this haiku.
And I'm going to be counting your syllables.
Of course, please do. Classy and handsome. Deserved better than Taylor. Tom, you are the best. Classy and handsome. Deserved better than Taylor. Tom, you are the best. And honestly,
I mean, I might get that on a poster.
please do. Don't come at me, Taylor Swift fans, because really, out of all the ex-boyfriends, he's the one that should be mad at Taylor, not the other way around.
Wow, someone knows their,
I do.
their Taylor
I
Swift
knew
history.
nothing. Thank you, Annie, for my information. Honestly, Taylor Swift fans like to forget that they dated because she was the wrong in there and she cheated on him.
Yeah.
So Tom Hiddleston is an angel, and we will respect him in this house.
yeah.
Go see The Life of Chuck.
I will. It looks great. I mean, Tom Hiddleston,
Yeah.
Stephen King. I don't know if it gets any better.
It probably doesn't. So
Yeah.
we're really excited.
All right, and what was the date again?
June 6th.
June 6th. All right, comes
Yes.
out start of the month. Great movie. Go see it. The Life of
Yes.
Chuck. It's a great third pick.
Thank you. Now for your
And
third
I'm
pick.
upset because I did want that.
I think
that
I'm going to be
pick.
really upset after this pick because there's two movies I was going to pick between. And it better not be this
So
one.
my third pick of the 2025 June release draft, also being distributed by A24.
Can't
Sorry, baby.
Can't believe I'm going 0 for 2 on A24.
Yeah, I got two
needed one of
A20.
them.
Yeah.
Just neon.
Two A24 movies in a row. So this movie is Sorry Baby, releasing June 27th, distributed by A24. It actually premiered at Sundance earlier this year. Got great reviews. People loved it. A lot of fun information about this movie.
Yeah.
So written and directed by Eva Victor. This is her directorial debut. She also is the star of the movie.
Yep.
The main actress.
Yep.
So like written, directed, starring Eva
good.
Victor.
Yep.
So Eva Victor has a history actually in comedy and in acting more so. Was on a show called Billions. But this is her directorial debut. Sorry, Baby. So it stars Eva Victor, of course, and Naomi Ackie, who you may recognize from Mickey 17 this past year.
Yep.
She was so great. She was also in Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Great actress. Those are really the main two. There's a couple other people, but it's really focused on these two actresses. It's produced by Barry Jenkins, who directed Moonlight.
Yep.
And so you've got some great people in support of this movie. But this movie is super interesting. The trailer looks fascinating. The trailer doesn't give much away,
Which is good.
But this is a movie. It is I will call it a heartwarming comedy about a very difficult subject. And so small little premises from IMDb. Premise of the movie is a college professor tries to recover from sexual assault. So difficult premise situation to talk about, let alone make a movie about.
Yeah.
And let alone make a comedy,
Yeah.
or a heartwarming comedy about. But Eva Victor creates this movie really, and her character had suffered sexual assault 3 years prior, and life for everyone else around her has moved on. But hers hasn't really. And so this movie really addresses how does life move on. And so some reviews I've seen about this movie, one specifically to quote a review I saw, was that it's bittersweet, which makes sense because it's, again, about a very difficult, real subject.
Yeah.
But they're also trying to, talk about it with some comedic tones in it. So bittersweet, brilliant, and heartwarmingly funny.
Okay.
And my take on some reviews and my really hope for this movie is that it looks like it's going to tackle this subject not in a way that's mocking in any way or like taking it too lightly, but really I think more so bringing hope to a really hopeless situation.
Yeah.
And so the vibe and the tone of the humor of this movie feels very similar to Fleabag. If you've seen Fleabag, it's very kind of this awkward humor. So it's not like MCU humor.
Yeah.
It's not like Chris Pratt
Yes.
is in this movie. It's more of this like kind of like awkward humor. Eva Victor feels like a very similar vibe to Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Fleabag. And so I'm so excited, I think, for this movie just because it's going to be touching on a very real, difficult subject that is the reality in real life often, but addressing it in a way that I think and hope brings a more hopeful outlook into, hey, how can life continue on? And so it looks really good, fascinating. June 27th.
Yep.
Sorry, baby. So this will be probably a more heartfelt movie than maybe some of the ones we've talked about so far. But not in a. It's not just gonna. I think it will make us sad in many ways because there is sad things to talk about and address in the movie. But I also think it's gonna bring some hope and bring some lightheartedness to some dark situations.
I also think a lot of times movies and art in general is supposed to serve many different purposes, especially in relating to one another, making sure that you don't feel alone and isolated. And oftentimes, a lot of actors defending art, and the purpose of it is when you feel these sharp, angular, and like singular emotions and feelings that are usually not great or really, really great. Are you the only one that's ever felt this way?
Yeah.
And it's a way of helping you get through these emotions of the very, very high or low emotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. This is just someone who's wrote it, directed it, acted, leading it, her way of trying to communicate these emotions in a very real way to make it more accessible to people that have gone through something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and whether you have gone through something like this and maybe get hope, maybe some hope, or at least some ability to relate to these feelings, or if you haven't, this may help us really empathize more with the reality of this dark situation. So, Sorry Baby, Eva Victor comes out June 27th. Distributed by A24.
Yep.
I am legitimately so excited to go and watch this movie. Go see it. Should be great.
It's going to be awesome. A24 really doesn't miss.
And I get 2 in a row.
You did. And honestly, bravo. It's impressive.
That concludes my third round pick.
So kicking off the fourth round.
Come on, what you got?
We have another movie, not going to be a very upbeat movie.
Yeah.
So getting into, like, your third round pick, I'm Sorry Baby, a more deep and emotional movie. It is Familiar Touch.
Oh, yes.
It is going to be so good, so real,
so sad.
Really sad. But it also is a subject that I personally feel needs to be talked about more.
Yeah.
Especially in movies, because it's not really touched in movies. And when it is, it's very poorly shown.
Yeah.
So that topic is aging, dementia, Alzheimer's, and just dealing with that process of moving into a nursing home and that isolation that you might feel. This movie comes out on June 20th, brought to us by Music Box Films. Familiar Touch is a coming of old age film.
Yeah.
It follows in a woman's transition to life in assisted living as she contends with her conflicting desires and self-narratives amidst her shifting age, identity, and memory. So many people, including yourself, might have gone through life moments where people you know in your family, people that you know, family friends, have gone through something like this process. And most people know someone that has gone through this, but it really is not popularized in an art like filmmaking.
Yeah.
This is changing with this movie, and the critical reception has been outpouringly positive.
Yeah.
So this is written and directed by Sarah Freeland. It is her feature film debut. So this is the first thing that we're getting from her that's not a short. And it has cleaned up around the world at film festivals.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, movies like this will struggle to get distribution, which is why you will probably only see films like this at film festivals, and they'll never go anywhere else.
Right.
This is a different story. It is cleaned up and it got distribution from Music Box. It's going to read you just a long list of awards.
Great.
And this
Come
is
on.
why you should go see the movie.
Yeah.
One, if you've ever dealt with something like this, of seeing someone you love go through the horrible process of losing their memory through dementia, or saying goodbye to a family member into a nursing home and an elderly age facility. This won the New Direction competition at the Cleveland International Film Festival. It won Someone to Watch Award at the Film Independent Spirits Award for the director and writer, Sarah Friedland. It won Vision Independent Narrative Feature competition at the River Run International Film Festival. It won the Best Film at the Stockholm Film Festival. Won Best Fiction Film in the New Directors competition at the Sao Paulo International Film Festival. It won the Best Feature Film at the, I'm going to butcher this, the Valladolid International Film Festival. At the Venice Film Festival, she won Best Director and Best Debut Film. And Kathleen Chalfant, I'm so sorry for pronouncing her name wrong.
That's great.
Won Best Actress. She's the woman who stars in it. And it won the Best Debut Director at the International Film Festival of India and won the Creation Prize at the Mill Valley Film Festival. So it just has been cleaning up for the past year, and now it is finally arriving at our doorsteps in theaters.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to go see this. Like, we all are going to age one day. We all know people that are aging, and this is about the very difficult process of doing that, whether it's you that's dealing with it or it is someone you know that is dealing with it.
Yeah.
So the cast, my favorite part about this is it is relatively unknown with a little sprinkle of more renowned actors.
Yeah.
So as I said before, the Kathleen Chalfant is starring in it. I really wish I could have found how to pronounce her name.
No, it sounds
I'm
great.
pretty sure that's it. She is Agnes in M. Night Shyamalan's Old, which
Okay.
came out a few years ago.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She is Xenia in the Last Days of Disco. She starred in movies Junior, Duplicity, Storm of the Century, and as I said, won Best Actress at the Venice Film Festival. Is also starring Carolyn Michelle, Andy McQueen. Andy McQueen was, have you ever seen 451 Fahrenheit? It's a very famous book.
Yeah.
HBO made the movie.
Uh-huh.
He's Gustavo in that
Okay.
movie. And John Benjamin. You might not know what he looks like, but
Yeah, I
you
don't
know
recognize
what
the
he
name.
sounds like.
Who
I'll
is
tell
he?
you 2 roles that he's done.
Yeah.
And you know what his voice sounds like. He is Bob from Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
And he is Archer from the series Archer.
Whoa.
So
no
he's
way.
one of the most recognizable voices.
Yeah.
Very distinct. As soon as you hear him, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what he looked
Bob.
like. Yeah, Bob. So he is one of the more renowned actors in this movie as well. And he also, if you want to know what he looks like, he is the football coach in 22 Jump Street.
Okay. Yeah.
So he has he is in there, but he doesn't
Talk about range.
talk about range. So good. So a lot of really cool aspects of this movie to wrap up. Much of the movie was filmed at the Villa Gardens, a continuing care retirement community in Pasadena. And a lot of the residents and staff served as extras and assisted the crew.
Okay. Wow.
So the movie will feel and is based in reality.
Yeah.
They're not trying to bring elements of this to make it more fictionalized and more Hollywood feeling just for the story arc. They're trying to make this feel real and just grounded.
yeah.
Director Sarah Friedland drew inspiration from her personal experiences in writing and directing the story. Those personal experiences include 2 things: her grandmother's battle with dementia, and then her own work as a caregiver for New York City artists with memory loss.
Wow.
So she has very, very real world experience
Yeah.
with this topic. And I think it takes a person who knows this process very well to actually capture the reality of it. And I think to wrap this up, to just give you what people are saying and critics are saying about this film,
Yeah. Let's hear it.
because oftentimes elderly people in the process of aging is not very well reflected in movies.
Yeah.
So this film has been praised for its social realism, poetic restraint, and avoidance of stereotypes about aging and memory care. It is described as a compassionate and remarkable portrait that gives dignity and visibility to dementia patients, presenting both the challenges and joys of life in assisted living.
Wow.
So we'll go through the isolation. It'll go through what are some things that people might actually enjoy too and find purpose in when they are shifting into assisted living. So it'll be a very heartfelt movie.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to go see this, support independent films.
Yeah.
And just know that you're seeing a movie that has been well received by the entire world.
Yeah. And another 2 movies in a row that are difficult topics
Yes.
to talk about, let alone like make movies about.
100%.
So that's so fascinating. I know when I looked at that movie, even watching the trailer, was so moved by like, man, this just looks like when we talk about movies, we want to go feel something.
Yes.
And it's a way to empathize and really feel for the people who are struggling with memory loss and the family members that are then having to, overcome all these different challenges. And so very excited for this movie. You said June 20th. Great.
I can double check that.
Yeah.
But we are looking at a June 20th.
June 20th, Music Box.
Go see Familiar
Touch. Great. I love it. That's a great. Was this 4th round already?
4th round. I will say on my draft list, I did have it slotted as my 2nd overall value.
Oh, wow.
But I was hoping that I could get it later in the draft.
Yeah. I probably would have taken it next. That's really good. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump in to my 4th round pick.
Go.
We're going to switch up the vibe a little bit.
There's a lot of blockbusters coming out. We got real serious.
We got blockbusters, and then our serious ones right there in the middle.
Oh, we're hopping off blockbusters.
We're hopping off I wouldn't call this a blockbuster. I would call this my family-friendly pick. We're going Disney Pixar's new movie, Elio.
Yeah, it's going to make $1 billion at the box office. All of you guys are going to see it. It's going to be awesome.
It should. If you're listening and you have kids, like young kids, here's my pick for you. Isaac doesn't care about you. I care about you. And I thought, for the people that have kids, going to the movies is tough.
It is.
It's going to be tough to go see Materialist with your young kids, or Sorry Baby with your young kids, or 28 years later with your young kids.
Hey, you have kids? Email us. We'll babysit for you.
That's not.
Go see the movies.
You don't want that. But this pick is for you. So Disney Pixar's new movie, brand new, so not a sequel or anything. It's called Elio. Focuses on this little boy named Elio. Comes out June 20th. This is, of course, animated movie by Pixar. I'm going to read out the full synopsis that Disney Pixar released because I feel like it covers the scope, and then I'll share a few quick thoughts on it why you should go see it. So this is from Disney Pixar. For centuries, people have called out to the universe looking for answers. And in Disney and Pixar's all-new feature film, Elio, the universe calls back. The cosmic misadventure introduces Elio, a space fanatic with an active imagination and a large alien obsession. So when he's finally beamed up to the Communiverse, an interplanetary organization with representation far and wide, Elio's all in for this epic space undertaking. Now, mistakenly identified as Earth's leader, Elio must form new bonds with eccentric alien life forms, navigate a crisis of epic proportions, and somehow discover who and where he is truly meant to be. And so in seeing this movie, go watch the trailer. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Really, we have this little boy named Elio who does not feel that he belongs. He doesn't feel like he belongs in the world or in his community. And then finally he gets beamed up into space and is given all this responsibility, but starts to actually feel like he belongs. And it's a really just sweet story of belonging. And trying to find out, like, hey, who am I meant to be and where am I meant to be, right? Like, not only does it matter, internally who you are, but also your surrounding, your environments. Your environment really, really matters. And so reviews on this movie have said that this is really bringing us back to the original storytelling that Pixar is known for. Obviously, there's a long history of just great animated movies from Pixar. A lot of the creative team in this movie is a lot of the newer Pixar movies. So there's several people that are involved in directing and writing and producing and all the different things that go into making an animated movie. But a wide variety of people who worked on Turning Red, who worked on Soul, who worked on Coco, who worked on Luca, so many movies that have come out in the last several years that have been really, really good. But this is just going to be, I think, another great, fun Pixar movie that's coming out this year. And I am going to go see it. I don't have kids. I'm going to go see it. But unless you want us to babysit, we'll go take your kids to go see Elio while you go see 28 Years Later.
That's actually a better pitch. Yeah, we're probably not best equipped to babysit. Annie would probably take the lead there.
Yeah.
We'd support.
We'll bring Isaac's wife to help.
But we will bring your child to Elio while you go see a movie that you want to go see.
You go see F1. We'll go watch Elio.
You go see 28 Years Later and then F1. Double feature. We'll see Elio twice.
Back to back. Maybe Minecraft will still be in theaters.
Yeah, it probably is. It still is right now.
It's in theaters for a long time. We'll go watch Minecraft. But movie looks so fun, so good. I think Pixar's back.
Yeah.
That is my 4th round pick. Elio, June 20th.
Fantastic.
Go see it in theaters.
Go see Elio. And
take her kids.
Go take your kids to the movies. Give them some memories to resonate with when they get older so that they love going to the movies.
Yeah, and that leads us to the final round.
The final round. It's been a fantastic 4 rounds so far.
Man, what are you going to pick?
I am so excited for this. I saw this movie for the first time. It is a re-release.
Oh, whoa.
I have to thank my wife.
2 re-releases in your draft?
It's because of this specific movie.
You're a sellout.
I know. Or,
Isaac hates new movies.
Sorry, I just support all movies being re-released.
I do as well. I agree.
Yeah. I thank you to my wife Annie.
There's a couple options.
There are a couple options. It'll make sense.
Okay.
It is Clueless, the 30th anniversary of Clueless.
It's a great pick.
My wife Annie showed me this movie for the first time this year.
Yeah.
It is not understated, iconic.
Yeah.
It perfectly encapsulates the 90s and early 2000s in every single way. It is at the same time hilarious and also like carries some depth of emotion and sarcasm and just angst and so many different things. It has one of the most handsome men alive on the planet currently. Paul Rudd. We love Paul Rudd here.
It was 2012's Sexiest Man Alive, I think. No, maybe I think it was more recent. I think it may have been 2020.
That sounds right. He's aged. I don't understand. It makes no sense. In a weird way, he's always been very handsome.
Yeah.
He kind of has gotten better looking as he's aged. But he's in this movie. He's really, really good in this movie.
Full disclosure, I forgot he was in this movie, and I jokingly said Paul Rudd.
That's incredible. Yes, so you're right. I'm glad that I said handsome man, and you said Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. The only 2 correct answers to that
I thought quickly. I was like, who'd be a funny answer to this? But also kind of true, but also really funny.
3 acceptable answers to that. When I say handsome man, it's Idris Elba, Ryan Gosling, and Paul Rudd.
And those are the only 3 answers?
When I say handsome,
great. That's who it's
they're not the only 3 answers.
Great.
But when I say it, I'm probably talking about those 3 guys.
Great.
And also Tom Hiddleston because I said that earlier in the episode.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But moving on.
Yeah.
This movie is so good. It is. Did you know what book it is based off of?
Is it a book titled Clueless?
It is not. It is. I'll give you the author. Actually, I'll give you a movie, and then you're going to guess the author. Pride and Prejudice.
Hold on. Jane Austen.
Jane Austen. This movie is a Jane Austen adaptation.
But not of Pride and Prejudice.
Not of Pride and Prejudice.
A different Jane Austen
book. So the
should I guess? Because I'm a huge Jane Austen.
Okay. Yes.
Just kidding. I don't know any other books by Jane. Hold on.
Can
I name one other book by Jane Austen?
If you can.
So Pride and Prejudice. Hold on. Oh my goodness.
You're going to see 28 Years Later with me.
That I don't. I don't agree. I don't consent. Hold on. I'm gonna sound so dumb to every Jane Austen fan
and I can't wait.
Here's the thing. I have dated many Jane Austen fans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you dated really anyone, they're probably a Jane Austen fan.
That's fair. This is gonna sound so dumb. I'm gonna sound so uneducated when it comes to literature.
I can't wait.
Is Wuthering Heights by Jane Austen? I don't think it is. That's the only book that's in my head.
Shoot, that's not Jane Austen. I think. I want want to say Emily. Honestly, this is just outing both of us because I know.
But you know it's not Jane Austen. I don't.
The author of Wuthering Heights had a biopic released, I think, last year.
Oh, wow.
And I can't believe.
Bob Dylan?
Yes. But no. It was actually 2 years ago. Sorry. It was Robert
J. Oppenheimer.
Yes. So it is.
Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn
Blonde?
Monroe. Yes.
Okay, I'll actually talk about her later.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm excited. I think I know what your next pick is.
Sorry. Full disclaimer. I don't know anything else by Jane Austen. Once I hear, I'll probably recognize the book titles.
So it is Jane Austen's book Emma, which has two other adaptations.
Not sound familiar.
This is the first Emma Jane Austen adaptation to be brought to the screen. The other two were period pieces titled Emma.
Okay.
One starring Gwyneth Paltrow, and the other starring Anya. Exactly, and then the other starring Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, great.
So. Two great actresses, two great movies, but this is the first. It is a true adaptation set in modern times.
Right.
Of
Which
Emma.
I love.
It's incredible.
I'm in full support of like old literature set in modern times.
100%.
Did you ever see the DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet?
No. Okay.
Oh
Add
my
it to the list.
Goodness.
I love that.
It's wild. They have guns.
That's awesome. I've always said
great.
Romeo and Juliet. All they're missing is guns.
It's awesome. You should watch it.
Yeah, like when you say that, I'm just picturing, because I know the story of Romeo and Juliet. I'm picturing two Italian families in New York City having a mob feud.
I believe they're still in Italy.
Okay.
But they basically are that.
It's The Godfather.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. Okay. Nice. Love that. One of my favorite taglines.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Sex, clothes, popularity. Is there a problem here? It's so good. To give you the brief blurb, shallow, rich, and socially successful Cher is at the top of her Beverly Hills High School pecking scale, not parking scale. Seeing herself as a matchmaker, Cher.
She gets like the premier parking spot.
Exactly, which honestly she does, yeah. Seeing herself as the matchmaker, Cher first coaxes two teachers into dating one another.
Oh, wow.
That's maybe the storyline of the first like 20 minutes.
Right.
And then something completely different. So honestly, I love that because it doesn't give too much away.
Yeah.
This is directed by Amy Heckerling, who is phenomenal director. You would recognize her from a lot of other stuff, including Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yep.
And if you want a deep dive on Amy Heckerling, I will give a shout out to another podcast. The What Went Wrong podcast has an episode on Clueless where they dive deep into the creation of the story and what went into the production process of Clueless. And they dive deep on Amy Heckerling. She's really fascinating.
Okay, great.
But she is fantastic, starring Alicia Silverstone. Fun fact about how she got cast in this. This was her really breakout role. She got cast in this based off of the music video of Crying by Aerosmith.
Whoa.
And do you know who is in this music video with her?
I imagine Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, yes. But also, have you ever seen Lost?
No, but it's on my
Oh,
list.
gosh, so good. So Josh Holloway, who plays Sawyer, is really randomly in this as well. And it's just like the most angsty, like 80s and 90s music video.
Yeah.
Obviously with Aerosmith. And it's fantastic. But she really was in there. They saw her in that and then brought her into this project.
Wow, no way.
So really, really unique connection into a leading role of a very successful Hollywood movie. She's also has more recently been in The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This is also starring Stacey Dash. You recognize her from potentially Renaissance Man.
Okay.
Brittany Murphy. She is, as talked about earlier, the female leading role in 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Starring Eminem. Yep. And then Paul Rudd. Obviously, everyone knows who Paul Rudd is. I'm just going to give
every movie he's ever been in.
I was tempted. Some of my personal favorite roles.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yes. Only one. That's it. End of list. We have The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yep.
So good. He's so good in that. 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's so funny in that.
Great.
Anchorman.
And Anchorman 2.
And Anchorman 2.
Yeah, he's great as Brick.
Yeah. A very...
Brick killed a guy.
Brick killed a guy.
Oh my goodness, I'm so dumb. He's not Brick.
That's Steve Carell.
All right, cut.
I'm leaving that in.
He's an anchorman.
Yeah, I thought you were just quoting
No.
a very
Oh
famous
my
line.
goodness,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
so
the-
dumb. No,
Oh,
cut
man.
that out.
He's the weatherman.
Yeah, he's oh, don't tell me his name. Is it something Montana?
I want to say Tony Montana from Scarface.
It's not Tony
I
Montana.
honestly forget his.
It's something else Montana
Yeah,
though.
but he has the iconic line. I forget what the exact percentage is, but it's 60% of the time
it works every time. Yeah, Sex Panther.
Sex Panther.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Cut back to Anchorman.
We're leaving that.
Don't
in.
leave
I
that
can't-
in.
I can't
That's
wait. I can't wait. And then
Cut.
one of
I'm
my
gonna just keep cutting.
one of my personal favorite roles that I think is underappreciated.
Hold on, I just can't believe I mixed up Steve Carell and Paul Rudd. I'm ashamed.
I would say honestly, if you didn't call that out, I just thought you were just quoting a random line. I'm happy
from
you did call it out.
Anchorman. No,
Yeah.
I just had a little brain fart.
Love that.
Like with you and Jared Leto and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, I will say when I originally wrote that Catholic priest joke,
Did it say
it said it's
Mormon
Mormon time. And then I realized beforehand, I was like, well, I can't change it now. So I said it's Graven time.
There's a lot of pressure to remember anything on camera.
It really is. Yeah. And we are constantly cracking under the pressure.
Oh man. All right, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. That was very
shame's
enjoyable for
gone.
me. That was very enjoyable for me. My personal most underrated role for him.
Yeah.
Because he's a lead in. Dinner for Schmucks
Yeah.
with Steve Carell.
Yes.
It's so funny.
It's a
so
great movie.
underappreciated. And if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's one of the most absurd movies. It's
Of
so
course.
good. Speaking of absurdity, he also is in May's
I think
Friendship.
I would invite you.
Thank you. And I would win you that dinner. Proudly. And Friendship with Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Which is
Was also in Death of a Unicorn.
also Death of
Back
Unicorn.
in
He's
April.
he was also in Ghostbusters last year.
Oh my goodness. Is there anything Paul Rudd won't do?
No, there really isn't. So that is rounding out the cast there. For just notable, there's a lot of great actors and performances in it.
Yeah.
But it's from people you might recognize when you go back and watch it in theaters. Now for some quick hidden facts for you. A very iconic scene is one of the first scenes of the movie. Alicia Silverstone, as Cher, pronounces a word very incorrectly. You might think it's just written into the script and is part of her character. She pronounces Haitians, Haitians. Fun fact, while filming that scene, she genuinely thought that's how you pronounce the word because she hadn't heard it be spoken out loud before.
Wow.
She didn't connect that it was Haitians. She said, I think twice in the scene, Haitians. And everybody on set got really awkward and really uncomfortable. And Amy Heckerling didn't let anyone tell her that it was incorrect.
That's amazing.
Because she thought it was so on point for the character and
Yeah.
she was obsessed with it.
That's so great.
So nobody was allowed to tell her until after they got the scene
That's
that
awesome.
that was just so incorrect.
And do you feel like you relate then to
100%. Just a quick fun fact about me. I'm horrible at pronouncing words, names. I think the worst
Destinations?
The worst one that I've ever done is in National Park. And I was in college. I'd never heard this word spoken out loud before. I'd never heard of the National
You're from
Park.
Boston.
I'm from Boston. I was in a room with my college roommates and I saw a video on Twitter and I was like, man, this place looks awesome. This Yosemite Park. And oh, sorry,
Well,
no,
that's not what you
I
said.
didn't say
That's
no.
the correct
I also now
pronunciation.
get it twisted in my mind.
Well, now you have it right, which is good.
I said, oh, look at this like park, Yosemite Park. And they immediately gave me the most judging looks I've ever gotten in my life.
Oh yeah, good old
They
Yosemite.
ruthlessly made fun of me. And I learned then and there that it was Yosemite. Not how it looks. I will defend myself. It looks like Yosemite.
Well, yeah, of course, but it's pronounced Yosemite.
Yes.
I, of course, have never mispronounced anything
Obviously.
in my life.
Yeah.
So I can't relate, but I'm glad you
of
can
course.
relate.
Yeah. We're totally gonna cut the scene where you misquoted.
Misquote is different than mispronouncing.
That's fair. A few more fast facts for you.
Yeah, come on.
This movie is considered to have some of the best fashion and costume design out of any movie in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Alicia Silverstone's Cher had specifically 64 different outfit changes throughout the movie.
Wow.
With the most iconic one being a yellow like skirt suit that was Dolce & Gabbana. So out of these 64,
which is that's the movie poster.
yes, it's the movie
It's
poster.
that yellow
Yes,
fabric,
and
right?
it's so good.
What are the chances next podcast you have 64 outfit changes?
Yeah, every time we do a close up on
Do
you,
you
I
even
just-
have 64
No.
different outfits?
I don't think I could get 64 different combinations. I genuinely don't. At work, I literally rotate through like 4 polos.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I could get 64. I think I would max out at about 40 just because I can mix and match shirts and shorts.
Right, yeah.
Just being on video right here is forcing me to go to TJ Maxx a lot and just get a bunch of different cotton shirts.
Right, yeah, of course.
Naturally. So a lot like the costume design and clothes that the characters wear are often considered a character in the movie because it tells a lot of the story going through it. So it's really, really interesting fact about the movie and really carries a lot of influence in movies after it. A few things about Paul Rudd. Really fun time for Paul Rudd, and I say that sarcastically. He auditioned for 3 different roles: Murray, Christian, and Elton. One of which is obviously, if you've seen the movie, a black man. Paul Rudd read the script, and he thought it was a white person, so he auditioned for it.
Oh, no.
And the casting was so confused. Like, why is this guy showing up
yeah.
for this role? Like, does he not know anything? Because it's also early Paul Rudd, where he was not just getting roles; he was mainly known for TV.
Right, yeah. It's so funny.
So rough start for Paul Rudd. And then the second one is he was mugged on while filming the movie, and his backpack was stolen, which contained the script for the movie. Which obviously sent the production into a frenzy because of leaking the script, and nobody would go see the movie if everybody knew it would happen.
Right, yeah.
So that was very unfortunate. The script did not get leaked, but he was mugged while filming this.
That's crazy.
And last fun fact, there's a scene where they play a game called Suck and Blow, where they pass a card, like a
playing card.
Yeah. Back and forth to each other by sucking on it to keep it to their lips and then passing it.
Yeah.
Really, really hard to capture. Doesn't really work in real life. And they tried multiple things. They couldn't use an actual playing card because they couldn't get it to stick. They ended up using a piece of cardboard, and even that didn't work. So then every person had to wear insane layers of chapstick to make it literally stick to their mouths. So it's just really, really fun notes on the production of the movie.
That's crazy. Hold on, I'm gonna try this. I got some cards.
Oh, let's go. Hunter's got some cards. We're pulling it out.
We're not gonna pass it.
No, we're not passing.
Okay, you can hold it for like a second and a half.
So now imagine going from here to here. Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
but you're going way faster though.
Yeah.
So the wind is hitting it, and they just couldn't figure it out.
All right, they needed me on that set.
They did.
When did this movie come out?
This movie came out in 1995.
Okay, the year I was born.
Yes, yeah. So
yeah, they needed me on this set.
But this releases on June 29th.
June 29th.
June 29th.
The re-release.
Yes. If you.
So what is? Oh, I guess 30 years. Wow.
30 years. Yep. And if you could have done that in 1995, you wouldn't be able to kiss Alicia Silverstone.
I was busy doing other things on camera.
That's true.
I
Notorious child actor, baby actor, really.
Small little fun fact before we get to my last pick. I was born in LA.
Yep.
And when I was 6 weeks old, I starred in a Pepto-Bismol commercial.
Yes.
Which went to national
TV actor Hunter McInnes.
Yeah. And if you guys are lucky, I'll share it with you guys one day. I do have it. I'm in it for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Great pick. So fun.
Really excited.
There's your whole team.
My whole team.
5 full picks.
Really excited for it.
And I've got my last pick. And I'm excited for this. From the world of John Wick.
Yeah.
Ballerina.
Yes.
Comes out June 6th, distributed by Lionsgate. It's from the world of John Wick.
Yes.
That's it. That's all
That's it.
I got more. But it's so fun. So this, of course, is starring Ana de Armas.
Yep.
Who's such a great actress.
She's incredible.
If you're unfamiliar with Ana de Armas, You may recognize her from Knives Out. Really, was probably her like big like popular breakout role as like the central character of Knives Out. She of course she was a Bond girl in which one was it? No Time to Die. She played Paloma. Phenomenal. Just and as we start to talk about the action scenes, she did a bunch of action scenes in that Bond film. So great. She played Marilyn Monroe in Blonde, nominated for an Oscar in that role. And so great actress, Cuban Spanish actress. When she came, and we were talking about this earlier, when she came to the United States and came to Hollywood and started auditioning for things, she didn't speak English.
No, she did not. She would literally, so in War Dogs, her first role, she just memorized the English words, not really knowing what they meant.
Yeah, she has no idea what she's saying, which is
so impressive.
Way more impressive because you don't know the words you're saying.
No.
So how do you know what to emote and what to feel?
Yes. Also, the actor that you're playing across from
is speaking to you.
Yeah. Improvs and goes off scripts. There's no room for error.
Yeah. And so she worked really hard to quickly try to learn English when she came here. But great actress, great action actress, which we really got to see a taste of in No Time to Die, the James Bond film with Daniel Craig. But she stars in Ballerina in the world of John Wick. Now, if you're a John Wick fan and you've seen the 4 John Wick movies, you may be wondering, hey, quick spoiler warning if you haven't seen the last John Wick film. You may be wondering, hey, didn't John Wick die? Because Keanu Reeves will be in this film just for a little bit. You may be thinking, didn't he die? You are correct. This movie takes place timeline-wise in between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4.
Yeah.
So it doesn't break any canon. Don't worry. John Wick's still alive, and this is before John Wick 4. But basically, Ana de Armas plays this assassin named Eve who comes from... so this is introduced in John Wick 3. Again, if you don't have to have seen any of the John Wick movies, by the way. It'll probably help.
Yeah, I've only seen one.
Yeah.
Also see it.
But you don't have to watch any John Wick movie before. But basically, there's this whole organization that trained John Wick, but they created the Ballerina program, which creates assassins that are also ballerinas. Honestly, not too dissimilar to the Black Widow program in Marvel. Natasha Romanoff, Florence Pugh's, Yelena Belova. So not too dissimilar, but Ana de Armas plays this ballerina assassin. And really the story of this movie is she is getting revenge on the people who killed her father, or really her whole family, but specifically her father. And so this is actually written by Shay Hatton, who wrote John Wick 3, John Wick 4. He actually wrote this film not connected to the John Wick universe initially. Was not a John Wick spinoff. Wrote this film actually before John Wick 3. And then when he pitched it, the studio was like, hey, what if we made this, put this in the John Wick universe? Which is why in John Wick 3, they actually introduced the ballerina program in order to set up this film. So fascinating story of the story itself written outside of John Wick universe, and then it was later brought into this kind of existing IP. It's directed by Len Wiseman, who directed Live Free or Die Hard of the Die Hard series. He directed Total Recall. And really, this movie, I don't know if we've really had a pick this month that fits the bill here. This is your just classic action film. Revenge. I mean, what better action than a revenge film? But classic action film. If you've seen any of the John Wick films, you know. Phenomenal choreography, phenomenal camera work, but really great hand-to-hand combat action. This is going to be so fun. Ana de Armas put a lot of work into this. I think it's going to be so fun, so great. It's probably a great story, connects to John Wick, and I'm all for a great action film.
Absolutely, you're always going to have fun in a theater watching an action movie.
Yeah. Do I have the most diversity in my draft picks? Maybe. In terms of genre, I don't know if that's the case. I'm gonna make a call and say I do.
I would disagree. You know what? Please let us know. We're gonna put up a poll. Let us know who's more genre diverse.
But Ballerina again releases June 6th. Ana de Armas, Keanu Reeves will appear in it as well. And it's just going to be so fun.
Yeah.
So that's my 5th pick, and that rounds out my team. And so, real quick, to recap our draft teams, and then we'll mention a couple honorable mentions of other movies that are coming out this month. Isaac, your 5 picks were...
We are starting with...
let's go title and release date.
Yes, so we're starting with... I want to make sure I get these release dates right.
Yeah.
28 Years Later, releasing June 20th.
Okay.
I've had it marked on my calendar for many months.
Yep.
Then we're moving on to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is not Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, as we know, because there are more movies after that.
Yeah.
But it is...
It was not his Last Crusade.
It is a re-release. It's the 3rd movie in the Indiana Jones franchise.
Is that also 30 years? Was it 95?
Yes, I'm pretty sure,
so.
Yeah. So June 15th. Release date for Indiana Jones. Then we're going to The Life of Chuck, Tom Hiddleston, releasing June 6th, earlier in the month. Then we have Familiar Touch on June 20th.
Yeah.
Really, really excited for that one. And then Clueless, 30th anniversary on June 29th.
Okay.
So
it's a pretty good team.
Really, really good team. Real diverse, if I do say so myself. And so excited for it. What's your team looking like?
Yeah, to recap my team, my first pick, F1.
Yep.
Coming out June 27th. Of course, the Formula One movie from the makers of Top Gun Maverick. My second pick, Materialist, June 13th. A24, Celine Song, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal. Rom-com, Love Triangle, June 13th. Third pick, Sorry Baby. I'm probably not saying that in the tone that should be said.
I think that's the funniest part about it. Is that
Sorry Baby.
Sorry Baby.
Comes out June 27th. This is the Eva Victor directorial debut with Naomi Aki, A24 release. My 4th pick was Elio, the Disney Pixar movie taking place in space. Comes out June 20th. And then my last pick, of course, Ballerina from the world of John Wick, starring Ana de Armas, comes out June 6th. And those are our 5 picks each for the month of June.
Yes, really excited. It's going to be such a fun month.
Yeah. Now, a couple quick, just honorable mentions. Other movies that are coming out. We won't go deep into these, but wanted to at least shout them out, and maybe you'll be interested in going to see them. I've got 2. I think Isaac may have 2. Number 1, How to Train Your Dragon. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, didn't that come out a while ago? It did, the animated version, but now we've got a partly live action, but a lot of CGI version. But it does look really fun. The 2 main actors look like they have incredible chemistry. It looks really fun. They play, of course, the 2 main characters. Toothless looks awesome. So if you liked the animated one, another great family pick, go see How to Train Your Dragon. That'll come out June 13th. Honorable mention?
I do have an honorable mention. The Unholy Trinity.
Yeah.
Just a trio of a cast that's going to be really exciting to see. It comes out June 13th.
Yeah.
It is starring Pierce Brosnan.
Yep.
Another Bond.
Great.
Then we have Samuel L. Jackson and Brandon Lessard. And it is a Western.
Yeah.
Brandon Lessard plays a man coming to a Western town whose father recently passed away. His father was partners with Samuel Jackson. They stole a lot of gold.
Yeah.
And he's come to try to find the gold.
Come on.
And it just turns into a bloody violence of a spectacle.
Sounds fun.
Pierce Brosnan plays a sheriff. Samuel Jackson plays an outlaw. And it's going to be really, really exciting and a very entertaining movie.
Yeah, I love it. June 13th. Another quick honorable mention is the movie called Sovereign. Comes out June 20th. Stars Dennis Quaid and Nick Offerman, who we've talked about. Good old Ron Swanson. Just another good, fun movie. More looking into, I guess, the not quite like super political, but almost at least the effects of a political landscape. Really, the sovereignty of really, we've got a father and son type movie here with some outside agitators. So it looks really good on June 20th.
Yeah, and my final honorable mention is Everything's Going to Be Great.
Yeah.
It is going to be a really funny movie with, another great cast. We have Bryan Cranston, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, Jack Champion, and Chris Cooper. It follows a family that picks up and moves to a small town to run a theater. And it's their attempt at making it big as actors and
Come on.
producers in the performing arts.
Do you want to remake it? But in
Yes,
real life?
in real life.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. It's gonna be really fun. It comes out June 20th. And if you like performing arts, if you like Bryan Cranston from many things he's done, go see it because it looks like a good, honestly, family time. So
Yeah.
if you have older children, probably like older than toddlers, they would enjoy this movie.
Also, quick note, if Isaac recommends anything to your kids based off of a certain age, Isaac has no idea what age kids should watch any movie.
That's accurate. I do fundamentally believe that multiple movies that probably shouldn't be watched by children should be watched by children. So,
So take his recommendations with a grain of salt.
yeah, if you love movies and you think that we shouldn't censor kids,
Yeah.
then listen to me. Not
right.
really, because that's crazy.
All right. We have no way of knowing also how long we've been recording this. I can already tell this is a long podcast.
Yeah.
But one final quick segment, just kind of end.
Yes.
It's called "What Are You Listening To?" Isaac,
Yeah.
you mentioned this podcast just
Yes.
briefly, but tell us, what are you listening to?
I mentioned it earlier briefly.
Yeah.
But the What Went Wrong podcast.
Yeah.
It is so good. Please go and watch it or listen to it. They do have video, but please go watch it. Join their Patreon. It's so good. If you want to know about these stories behind how movies get made
Yeah.
and the production process, the pre-production process, the post-production process, and what goes wrong in making movies, listen to it. It's so good.
And spoiler alert, a lot
A lot.
goes wrong.
Even on the best movies that are ever made, so much goes wrong, and it is a miracle. As they say, it's a miracle that anything gets made. It is brought to us by Chris Winterbauer and Lizzie Bassett.
Yeah.
They're incredible. They have an Instagram. They have a Patreon. They're on Apple Podcasts,
So
Spotify.
knowledgeable.
So knowledgeable.
Great research.
Chris is a director and screenwriter. Lizzie is a former actress. She went to acting school, and they just know a lot about the process, and they give you really fun insights on it.
Yeah, you introduced me to what went wrong.
I'm trying to get everybody
and
on
I've,
it.
I've listened to a lot of episodes, and I mean, I'm sold.
Yes,
it really is. It makes me appreciate movies more.
Yeah.
Knowing that it is insane that any movie gets
Yeah,
made.
it just shows truly what makes movies special is that it is the pinnacle and the ultimate point of collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, different directors take this in different ways and want more control than others. But the best movies often show directors hiring people they trust and then trusting them to do their job.
Yeah.
And it just, in order to make a great movie, you need to collaborate and you need to have people that you trust. And when everything does go wrong, because it will go wrong, a great final product can't exist if you collaborate with each other.
Yeah. If you need a specific episode to listen to, my personal recommendation is the Shrek episode.
It is really fun.
Awesome. I
It is
learned
really
so
fun.
much.
Yep.
And love the movie Shrek.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite episodes, they do a lot of different stuff. Galaxy Quest episode is really good.
Yeah.
Also great movie. The Sixth Sense one is really good.
Yeah.
And the Silence of the Lambs is so fantastic.
of course.
So all three of those, go check it out, download them, and get listening.
Great.
Hunter,
Great
what
rep.
are you listening to?
Great question. The podcast I listen to the most, that I'm most inspired by, is the House of R
Yes.
podcast. It's under the Ringer podcast network, so theringer.com. They do a ton of media covering like movies, shows, sports.
Yeah.
So many things are so great. But Mallory Rubin and Joanna Robinson host a podcast called The House of R.
Yeah.
They cover movies and shows, so tons of things. But Mallory and Joe are I think two of the most brilliant people I've ever listened to. They are legitimate just experts on storytelling. Like the way that they talk about the movies and the shows that they're watching helps me to have a greater appreciation, but also helps to educate me on greater themes and tropes and just different things that go into, hey, how do you tell a compelling story?
Yeah.
And they're just so brilliant. They're so well researched, well educated. Like they know their stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel smarter. I kind of feel dumb listening to them because they just know way more than me. But by the end of their podcast, I feel way smarter.
Yeah.
And their podcasts or not short.
Yeah.
They're going 2.5 hour, 3
Yeah.
hour podcasts talking in depth on movies and shows and so many other things. So go listen to House of R. I know I shared, I think, some things at House of R
Yes,
of some
with
shows we've watched.
Rings of Power.
Yeah, Rings of Power. It was great. I just finished listening to all their stuff with Andor,
Yeah.
The Star Wars show that's been coming out. They're so great. So go show them some love. A lot of even my personal inspiration for this podcast itself is from Mallory and Joe.
Yes.
And I wish we were friends.
I love that.
They're so great.
I love that.
So that is a wrap.
That is a wrap. As a reminder,
Yes.
you can support this podcast without spending a dime because we don't want your money.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it, but we don't want it right now.
I'll drop my Venmo in the comments.
We would love if you'd support us, if you listen to us, by doing 4 things.
Sure.
Like, rate, review, and subscribe.
Great.
4 ways to...
I'm all for that, yeah.
Yeah, 4 ways to support us.
Like the podcast.
Like the podcast.
Rate, leave a review.
Wherever you listen.
Yeah, so
rate.
Spotify, YouTube. I know we'll be on Apple soon.
Yeah.
Like it, leave a review.
Leave a review.
Only if it's positive, though. I'll be honest. If you don't like it, please don't leave a review.
Don't rate
Send me
it.
an email.
Actually, don't rate it if you don't like us. Please leave us a review. So I think negative reviews are kind of funny.
Just send me an email. I can't handle it. So like, rate,
Subscribe.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Spotify, YouTube.
Like, rate,
Whatever it
subscribe,
is.
and review.
Oh, rate and review. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, do both. And follow us on Instagram.
And follow us on Instagram and follow us on Spotify.
Yeah, follow us everywhere. On Instagram, we'll post a lot of other kind of fun bits. We just talk about movies and have some fun. But go see these movies. If you go see these movies and you have thoughts or you have weird movie traditions, or if you just have any questions, again, send us an email at themidnightmatineeproject@gmail.com. Again, it is matinee, not manatee. Easily mixed up, the M or the N and the T.
Yeah.
The Midnight Matinee Project @gmail.com. Email us. We'd love to get to hear from you, whether we know you or not. But we will see you guys next month.
Yes.
For the July releases. Summer is here. Movies are here. And of course, we want to end the podcast with our battle cry.
Yes.
Which of course is
Long live the theatrical release.
Dang it, I messed it up.
Keep it in. No cut.
I was going to say long live cinema.
Long
and I'm
live
so
the
close.
theatrical release.
We did not rehearse.
No. Long live cinema is, of course, Martin Scorsese. Long live the theatrical release is obviously many places, but you heard it here first from the Midnight Matinee Project.
And it was a test and I knew it. Long live the theatrical release. We'll see you next month.
We'll see you next month.